Hey, yo, what's going on? I'm in the building, back again. Hope everybody's been well. Hope the ancestors have been watching over y'all. Hope we've been making them proud. Hope we've been making the ancestors proud, y'all. Back again. You know me, Brother Legend. Here with another live. Hopefully we can have a good discussion today. Have an interesting discussion. A lot of questions above me been in my comments lately. So somebody said about the end time. It's been a interesting few days for me. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Welcome to the live. Today, hopefully, we can talk about something different. You know what I'm saying? Good evening, good evening. I'm well. What's going on? Tap like on the live, y'all. Respect to all of y'all. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Tap like, tap like. Let's get some people up here. Let's talk about a few things. I feel like this is zoomed in on my face right now. A little too much. But yeah, let's talk about some things. Is feminism pro-black? Does it benefit black people? Does feminism benefit black people? Does feminism benefit the black community? Man, oh man. I put up videos and every now and then I get a frosted feminist in my comments. That's why I bring the question back. Like, is this beneficial or not? I want to hear from the sisters. Somebody said womanism. I heard that. Shout out to them womanists. I heard that. Womanism as a verb, not its own separate movement, of course. I'm with that. Can't be pro-black if you're not pro-black women. Does feminism benefit black people? Some of y'all don't know what womanism is. So that's a thing. Does religion benefit black people? I had someone called me an Islamophobe earlier because I said that Islam was a tool of colonization on the motherland. Somebody said I was an Islamophobe. You know? And then they wanted to say that, what's good, D? I'm gonna just get through my little monologue. Appreciate you coming up. But someone said I was an Islamophobe because I said that Islam was used as a colonization tool on the motherland. And they said that those that participated in slavery were equivalent to saying that the errorist groups, you know, I'm gonna make it TikTok friendly. The errorist groups are. I thought that was interesting because we definitely know that Islam was used as a colonial tool on the motherland. And it's funny to me because we could talk about, you know, how they've made it illegal for women to drive. They made it so that women have to cover up, made all these other laws. But none of them Islamic states that participated in slavery made slavery illegal. But when I bring it up that it happened, they said, yeah, see, look at the guy. That's culture, not Islam. However, Islamic culture was used to subjugate our ancestors to enslavement. That's hilarious. And right, I'm not even going to say was to this day. So that's interesting. That's interesting that we can all of a sudden know the difference between religion and culture, even though religion is part of culture. Who you pray to is part of your culture. So I'm baffled by that one. But we could talk about that. Does interracial marriage rather benefit the black community? Does it benefit black people to marry interracially? And does being pro-Palestine benefit black people? Let's talk about it. Some heavily nuanced questions. Um, I'm gonna go to my first guest. What up, Coffee? I appreciate you coming up here. Let me go to the newcomer, Vibration. Could you give us a vibrating sky? I'm sorry. Could you give us your age, race, and pronouns, please? Vibrating sky, you are muted. We can't hear you, vibrating. There
I'm
you go.
here. I'm just trying to get someplace where it's not so loud because I got invited before I was ready.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
All right.
Okay, what was the questions? I'm sorry that you asked me.
Age, race, and pronouns, please.
52 biracial woman
Why do I feel like you have a black parent?
because my dad is black, my mom is white.
That's probably why you said biracial.
That's what I
Okay.
identify as is biracial.
Biracial is not a race, though. It's a description of what your parents did
That,
when they came
that's how I
together.
describe myself.
Yeah. But we asked your race, and biracial in the race category is not a race of its own. It's a description. So that's
Next
like
question.
it's like if someone asked me my race and I said hippopotamus, it's just a I mean, you can identify yourself as a hippopotamus if you want, but it's not a race. So that's the thing.
Did you have a question for me? I was invited, so I
No, I was
joined.
waiting for you to answer the race question, honestly. You didn't answer it. You answered it with
I,
a
I don't I don't
misnomer.
answer I don't answer that race. I don't identify it as in a race category. That I don't put myself in a race.
Oh no, we don't put ourselves in a race category. You think I woke up when I was like 5 years old and said, "Hey, I want to be black"? Like,
Right,
you know,
right,
we don't
right.
we don't do that to ourselves. Do you know how social constructs work?
I
It's in
don't
society, right? Like it's a
I
social
wait,
construct,
wait,
right?
wait, 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 wait. I didn't come up to be attacked. I don't
I'm
identify
not
myself
attacking you.
in a
I'm waiting
race
for you to
because I
answer
know
the
that that's a
question.
social construct that people put me in. So in
Yeah, but
order to
we're
keep from
talking
that
about
happening,
society and social constructs. So we're up here. If you don't have enough knowledge to answer what your race is when we're talking about these topics,
what would you
then
call me so that I can understand better? What would you call me? What
no, it's
race
not
would
about
you
what I would call
consider me?
you. It's not about what you would call you. It's about what
Well,
society deems you in the social construct of race. There's
black.
not always a
Society
biracial
society
on
deems me as
a
black.
job application or even in the U.S. Census. There's no biracial category. So what are you?
Society would deem me as black.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Takes a little bit of struggle to get there, but
I
yeah,
mean that's
there
what
you go.
society deems me as.
Yeah,
You asked me
that's
what
what
I deem
society deems the
myself as.
president, Barack Obama. That's what society deems J. Cole. That's what society
Right.
deems a lot of other biracial black people when they got a black
It's
parent. For
okay.
some
It's
reason,
okay
they
though.
black.
Isn't
But
it
the
okay
fact
though?
that you don't want to be deemed what society deems you when it comes to your black parent lets us know a lot. It's cool. Go ahead, answer the question.
Really? Oh, that's sad. That's
That's
five.
sad for you. I'm fine.
I haven't even joined. I haven't even been here for a minute, and you're saying that.
That's sad
So
for you. I'm not
are
sad.
you
Listen,
offended?
you go
Why
ahead.
are you
Do what
so
you want to do.
offended? Because I don't let people put me in a box. Why does that offend you? Why does that upset you? Why do you seem so upset because of that? I know what people look at me as.
And
I
now you're
know
being
that my
racist
skin
because now you're
color.
saying I'm an aggressive black man. Like I'm some
You
angry black man
kind
now.
of, you kind
Are you
of
going to
are
use more
though.
tropes against me? Does
Wow.
my
You
beard look
kind of
aggressive
are
to
right
you
now
too?
though.
He kind of
You
is
asked me
it.
one question, all of a sudden
You're
I'm just
kind of a
like,
Karen.
you're
You're
ripping
kind
me
of
a
a
new
yeah.
asshole. Like, give
You're
me a
kind of a
minute.
Karen. You're kind of a Karen. You came up here and you displayed yourself as a
Wow.
Karen. Because when was he aggressive by
My,
asking you a
here,
question?
I answered the question,
No,
and
you
it
couldn't
wasn't to
answer
his
it because
liking.
just because you phenotypically, ma'am, you look like a black woman. So we're gonna sit here and play this guessing game.
I
It wasn't that hard.
absolutely
It was
do.
one question, but he had to drag it out of you, and he wasn't being aggressive.
I didn't feel like he had to drag anything out of me. He asked me a simple question. He said race. I don't put myself in a race box. That's what
Ma'am, when you apply
society
for a
does.
job, when you go to school, if there's anything, even your driver's license, there is a race question. So him asking what your race is not an insult, and he's not putting you in any box. Society does. Socially, you recognize yourself as a particular thing. So it's very odd in this conversation if a black man is asking you just to give your race, age, and pronouns, it's this whole fight, and then you call him aggressive as if that doesn't have its own very dirty, nasty, evil history to it, putting on a black man as aggressive. Like your mother is showing.
Okay.
Yeah, don't call him
That's
aggressive.
so sad.
He
And
ain't
you know
being
what's
aggressive.
sadder? And then I'll leave because I'm not going to go through this. But what's worse is
You
that
need
being
3 more
on
pause, y'all.
that side is I've been attacked by the white side and not accepted because of the color of my skin. But then
That's why the black side don't mind accepting you.
when I choose to be around my father's side of the family and be around my people that I
My
feel that I
people,
should be
we
welcome,
your people now.
then
We
then
your
all of a
you was
sudden
biracial.
my mom's part comes out. Like it's
Correct.
like it's damned if I do, damned if I don't. That's
Correct.
why these lives are just so negative,
Yep.
and you can't just let the fact that I have a white mother bothers you
You said
so
that. You
bad.
said that.
It
Nobody
bothers
knew
you
what your
so bad.
parents
My
were.
husband
That
is
don't bother
black.
Nobody
us.
knew
My
what your
children
parents
are
were.
black,
You went
and
out your
the
way to say
fact
that, ma'am. That was on you.
yeah. Well, you
So
know
you
what?
just projected.
Colorism much,
Yeah,
ma'am.
colorism
Colorism.
is much,
Colorism.
and ignorance is
Yeah,
too. And you
it's
showed your
okay.
Karen ass up here,
It's
and now you want
okay,
to go out your way
Karen.
to be the victim in this whole
Okay,
conversation when it was a simple question that you
okay.
couldn't answer.
You
That's
can,
on
you can,
you.
you can
You showed
literally
your anti-blackness.
colorism
You
much.
didn't. You showed your
Okay.
anti-blackness. Aggressive much? Karen much?
Hey man, shout out to whoever sent the Panther Paws. We appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. It was a little early for that, but in the black community, biracial black and white people are treated as black until they show anti-blackness. Then you ain't one of us. Don't come around us calling us your people, but you gonna act like someone said Hillary Clinton. If you gonna come around us being a Karen, we not going for it. So it like when we having a discussion about race, you should understand enough about the social construct of race to know that your white parent does not make you half white. There's no such thing as half without color and a color. You can't be both. You can't have a color and have no color. People with color, people of color, have color. If you have a color, then you are that color. If you have without color, people without color, then you're not half without and half with. If you have it, you have it. If you don't, then you on that other side. But it's not really that confusing, and she knew it, especially passing full time as black. Man, my goodness. But let's go to the next guest. Can y'all please mute up when you come up here, please? We don't just come up here talking.
Oh yeah,
Please.
yeah.
I'm gonna go in order,
All right.
and we're gonna have a decent discussion. Corey, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Okay, my age is 26. My minority is Jamaican, and
Hold on, Corey. Can you turn your TV down or whatever you got in the background? That's distorting the feed. But you can keep talking, but just turn whatever that is in the background down. You need to turn the volume down. Yeah, bro.
um, my age is 26, and my minority is Jamaican. Hold up, hold up.
I don't know what happened to him.
Well, that's a wrap. Stop smoking so much cigarettes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Why was his voice so raspy? That was kind of
A
wild.
minor. I'm
Yeah.
looking at his stuff. He like a kid.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you, mods. I think that was the mods. All right. JLB Beauty, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Okay, so I'm 30. My race, I am half Italian and I am half Black African American. I claim both
Italian is not
sides.
a race.
What? Okay,
Italian is not a
Italian is
race.
white. Okay, they're white. Okay, let's put
Okay,
it
so
that
you're
way.
not half white.
Huh?
You're not half white.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
How so?
Prove it.
How do you want me to prove it? My mom is white. She's Italian. My
Turn the
family
camera
is.
on and prove it. It's half of your face. It's,
I'm
it's,
not
it's,
turning
it's
on my
half of your face.
camera.
It's half of your face like a pointy nose and like white
It
on this side, and then when you turn this way, it's like black or something. Like how are you half?
be
How?
okay. So how am I half? Because I came out of a white woman, and my
Yeah.
father is black.
Okay, but
That's
that's
how it would
not
make me
you. That's
half.
your parents. That's your parents,
That
right?
made
That's
me, but that made
that's
me.
your
So that
parents
would
though.
equally make
But
that I'm
but
I'm
but, but,
half
but I
white
asked
and half
you what
black.
your race was,
But just
not
no,
your parents.
that's my race.
I didn't ask
I'm
how
not
you got
denying
here
that
from your
I'm
parents.
black.
I asked
I'm not denying that I'm
who you
black.
are,
I'm just
like
saying
who you are, right?
Can I ask
So
her a
I'm
question,
not.
you
Brenda?
are not half of anything. You're a whole woman, right? So you're a whole human being.
Okay,
You
so
are
I'm
just one
biracial.
human being.
I am biracial.
That's
Can I ask a
okay.
question?
It's okay to be biracial,
If
but
she
there's
said
no such thing as
No, I'm not.
being two races in a social construct that is built to exclude all other races from whiteness. You are not half white.
No, I'm not. I'm not excluding the fact that I have black on me. That's
I
what I
didn't say
said.
that.
I
I didn't
said.
say that. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Don't say what I didn't say. Race was invented to exclude all other races from whiteness. So, if you
Okay, now
have
I get what you're saying.
anything other
Yes.
than just white, you're not white. You're black. If you have a black parent, it was meant to exclude your blackness. So you just as black as the rest of us because you can't turn on that camera and show me whiteness. So that being the case, we don't have to try to modify the social construct meant to exclude black people to exclude yourself from blackness when you're a biracial black person. That's fine. To be black is to be mixed. We're all mixed at some point. Even black people on the continent are mixed with different types of black. The African continent is the most genetically diverse continent on earth. So everyone is mixed at some point. But the thing
So,
is, whiteness is exclusive to white. You can't be half without color and half a person of color. You're a person
okay,
of
you're
color.
talking about the prisms of color spectrum, but yes, I get what you're saying. If you really want to put it into perspective, that is a prism thing where they use the color spectrum. You can't, white cannot exist without all the colors.
That's in light. We're not talking
And
about light.
black.
We're talking about the light spectrum. We're not talking about light. If anything, it's more like paint. But even if we're going to talk about it, if we're going to talk about it and be fucking for real, we're talking about a social construct that was built for one purpose: to subjugate and justify the enslavement of your ancestors and mine.
But
And
can I say this? But can I say this one
there
thing?
was no
Without
difference.
blacks, there
It's
would
called
never
no
be no
difference
whites.
between you
Do you
coming
hear me?
out
first
of
of
a
all,
white
there's no
woman
blacks
or a
or
black
whites.
woman
They're
and
black
treated you
people
as
or
black
white
and
Black
I was
people.
people
a
can
person.
create white babies, and my kids are all white looking. They have blonde hair and light eyes. And but I am mixed. I
We
am
have the Eve gene,
biracial.
ma'am. We can create any color of people.
Exactly what I'm saying. I
So,
just
okay,
said that
so at the end of the
previously.
day, I want to understand when you saying you are black, right? And you're saying you're half. So,
Yes.
do white people call you white?
Actually, to be honest with you, they joke around and call me
No,
the
no, no, no,
whitest black
no,
girl they
no,
ever
not
know.
as a
But
All
joke.
right,
besides
so
that,
they call
yes.
you a black
Do they
girl.
call you
The
white?
end. And you showing that
Yes,
you
they
white.
do.
I'll call you that
No,
too.
they
The
don't.
way you acting.
They do.
But you
Honestly,
still
I
a
ain't
black
got nothing to
woman. But
lie
they
about.
still
They
call
do.
you black. But they still call you black. They
But I'm not ashamed to be black, though.
And
That's
that's
the
all you
thing.
are. It's not no. You're a black person with a white mom, or I don't know. It's your mom, right? Because I can tell by like the way you think. It's
Oh,
your
they
mom,
about
right?
to kick me.
Is it your
I'm
mom?
about to get. Yeah, my mom's white.
All right. So yeah, we can tell. So that being the case, you're a black person with a with a white mom. It's okay.
But I didn't even get to answer no questions.
Well, that's because you came up here with that mayonnaise between your ears. I can't help that.
You started talking. I couldn't even get answer one of them
You
questions
should have
out
knew
there.
the assignment. You should have knew the assignment.
It's all good though. It's all
All
love though.
right. All right. You should have knew the assignment.
I ain't playing
Hey
no games
man,
today, brother. Them
I don't know
files
what's
coming
going on.
through.
Shout out to y'all for the Panthers. I don't know what the hell's going on. This wasn't even the original topic. I don't know how we ended up here. This wasn't even the topic that I had. It's just we got bombarded by the biracial brigade, and it just got all crazy. You know what I'm saying? No,
Listen,
Corey can't come back up here, right? Yeah.
peace, everybody.
What's going on,
My
Steve?
name is Tom, and I am a 21-year-old biracial guy, and I don't want to hear nothing about my race. Leslie, or everybody who come up, can y'all mute? Can y'all
Yeah, hold
mute?
on.
I
I
need y'all
got
to
you.
mute. Y'all background be crazy, yeah. I need, when you come up on the panel, you got to mute immediately. You got to press that mic button.
Please
My
do.
name is Tom. I'm 23, I think I said. And I'm biracial. Listen,
You think
biracial is a race.
biracial isn't a race?
Number two, phenotype is delusional. That is not even real. I don't even know what y'all mean when y'all say phenotype. Race, identity, this is a bunch of hot noise. It don't even make sense. Number three, in the black community, biracial, black and whites are treated as equal. There is no such thing as anti-blackness, and there is no such thing as whatever the hell. And real quick, let's try to get to 20K likes in the next 20 minutes, y'all. It's 400 people in here. Everybody tap the screen, fill up that red bar 3 times. Share it live. Let's get to 25 shares. Everybody tap the screen. Let's get the likes up. Make sure you share the live. Support the platform. My name is Tom, and I have this Malcolm X guy on my profile pic. I don't even know who he is, really. I am misinformed, but I heard he was a nice guy to white people. He got along very well with white people, and he was best friends with people who are white, and he would have been best friends with Donald Trump, matter of fact. He would have loved Donald Trump. He would have loved Joe Biden running this country. That's what I heard. And I'm going to land there, man. Yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
Please no.
All right, let's go to the next guest. Y'all, like you said, please tap like to protect the live. Keep us up here. Leslie, could you give us your age, race, and pronouns?
I am 38. I'm white, and I guess she, her is pronouns. I'm a female.
Okay. And
Um,
go ahead,
go
talk to me.
ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go
Ask,
ahead. It's your turn. Go ahead.
I'm coming on here. Okay. First off, I agree with you. Biracial is not considered a race. Is that fair in this world? No, it's not. And I say that with all the love in my heart. Because I'm not going to lie, my daughter's boyfriend is considered black, even though he's biracial. When other people look at them or look at him, they immediately consider him black. Even though I'm a whole believer in skin tone does not define who a person is. What is on the inside defines who a person is.
Thank you, mods. Thank you for the paint pause. Listen. I ain't even want to dig into that. I'm good. Like we didn't even have to. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to who sent those paws. Hold on. Damn, they sent them a minute ago. Nart.
Narc not playing tonight. He's
Yeah,
out here dropping it like a bomb.
yeah, man. Get him up out of here, man. That was about to go left. We'll go to the next person. Living with Lilac. Could you give us your age, race, and pronouns?
Unmute myself. I am 43 years old. I am black, with a black mother and a black father. I'm ADOS, American descendant of slaves. We still own our plantation, and my pronouns are her and she. I guess that's the right ones, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
if that's how you feel. All right. And go ahead, talk to us.
Well, I love how the simplification of race gets put in this whole like a crayon box. It's not about color, and it annoys me deep in my bones because I'm not stupid and you're not stupid neither. You know this is not about skin color. Do you know how many races of women, how many nationalities of people are the same skin tone as me? But I get called a welfare queen. You know what I'm saying? But I get called the N-word and all these other things. Why? Because it isn't about skin color. And you simplifying it, saying, it's just about your heart. It's about your soul. Don't play this game with me. It is about my heritage. You are talking about my heritage. You say you are a descendant of slaves, you are a descendant of Africans, you are a descendant of black people, and they are inherently lower than me based off of legal reasons why white people are considered people who get to have more privileges than you do based off of these laws that we have made. Not, you know what I'm saying? We have our own paper bag tests and all of that, and I acknowledge that. I acknowledge my privilege. I always tell people, I acknowledge my privilege. I acknowledge my hair is straighter and my skin tone and my features are keen and things like that. I've always acknowledged that, you know? And for me not to would be cruel to all the people in my race, you know? But don't sit up here talking about, well, it doesn't matter the color of the crayon. Man, if you don't get out of here. Because when you get mad, you ain't talking about crayons. You ain't saying, hey, you're sepia. Oh my gosh. You're tan. I'm a porch monkey when you get mad. You know what I'm saying? When you get mad, I'm living off the system. I'm a welfare queen. I'm the N-word. I'm the rest of that. And that don't come from, that ain't skin tone. Because if I was a Filipino woman, which there are tons of Filipino women that have the same skin tone as me, you wouldn't say the same things. You know, Indonesian women, people, Middle Eastern women who have the same skin tone as me, it is heritage. And when you talk about a person's heritage, you are talking about the depths of who they are deeply and who their family is. And that's when you have to acknowledge how important that is to that person. All right, so every time somebody come up and says, it's not about skin tone, I know it's not about skin tone. I know it's not. It's about heritage. You are attacking my heritage. You're not attacking my skin. It's stupid. You know, I'm not dumb. You know what I'm saying? I know the difference. You know, and I say this all the time. It bounces off people's heads. I really just wanted to come in and just say that. That's all. You know, and racial identity is laws. Okay, when you sit down and see, do you know how many people went to court and begged to be called white in the United States of America? Begged. How many people came to the United States and says, please don't call me black. Please don't call me anything other than white. And went to court. And I'm telling you, dressed up, went to court and said, just call me white. Please call me white. And won. And that way they were like people from India, people from like all these places came and was like, I can't be considered anything other than white because I need the privileges and the things that are given to white people. Please don't call me anything else. And it's and don't sit up here and talk about skin tone. You know what it is. It's laws. People wanted to have certain privileges. They wanted to be treated a certain way. They wanted to have certain okay, here's one thing, right? Nobody ever knows this. To be a shopkeeper, if you were white, you could be a shopkeeper for free. If you were black, you had to pay to be a shopkeeper. And the amount of money, if you were to translate it into what it is right now, it would be like $40,000 that you would have to pay in order to just own a store. To own a store. Wow. If you weren't white. But if you were white, you could own a store, you know? Like, these are the little things. And it's like, well, you know, my dad did it. Well, your dad didn't have to pay $40,000 in order for him to do it, you know? Wow. And where was that $40,000 come from? The cotton fields? You know what I'm saying? Like, people are pushing back against you as you're trying to push forward, you know? And like that's all that's all I had to say.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. That is facts. And thank you also for understanding the nuance of the conversation which we're having, because we love our biracial brothers and sisters. And the second point speaks to what you were speaking about earlier. Phenotype is not the only factor in determining racial identity. It's not the only factor. It does play a role in how we're profiled and discriminated against. However, when it comes to your racial identity, there is also your heritage, like Sister just said. It's your land, your history, and culture that makes us part of the same family worldwide. I appreciate you for bringing that out in the
Also,
conversation.
you're not
Plus,
the
she said
master.
both
You're
her
also
parents
not
are
the master
monoracial
of
black.
how people are going to perceive you in a place that doesn't even belong to you. I have a ex-boyfriend who is half Belizean, half white. When he got a DUI, what did the papers say? He was black. Nobody cared that he was Belizean. Nobody cared that he is half white. If you even take a good look at him, you're not even sure what you're looking at. You know, you're like, you know, he's very racially ambiguous. You know, and everybody want to be black until the cops come. That's what I say. You know, I look. If this was our country, honestly, if this was our land and we were able to make the rules and the laws and all the rest of that, but if you look and see how he was booked as a black man. And he was not the master of that, and that's based off of basically laws. You know, these were all laws. It has nothing to do with skin tone. It has nothing to do with anything other than laws. These laws say you get this and you don't get this. You get treated like this and you don't get treated like that, and you're not the master of it. So you can sit here and say, oh, I'm biracial, I'm light skinned, I'm this, I'm that, I got the slick hair till the cows come home. Nobody cares my hair's straight. Nobody cares, because when Child Protective Services gets called on me, they be the first ones to sit here and look at me and say, look at this N-word heifer with these kids up in here, you know.
Yeah.
With their little afro puffs and all that. They don't care. Ain't nobody sitting up here saying, well, she's a little lighter and her cheekbones are a little high. Nobody cares. You either is or you ain't, and it's heritage.
Right. And that's another thing I appreciate that you brought out was the privilege factor, you know, how colorism operates. Our lighter skinned brothers and sisters are still black. They don't experience a different black experience because some of us are phenotypically privileged, some of us are economically privileged. It's like Kanye West. You know, he's not going to experience the same black experience that I'm going to experience, but he's still a black man. And, you know, acknowledging that privilege is necessary. More melanin, more power. I give them more power to speak. But at the same time, it's not a different experience. It's the same experience with a little bit more privilege in certain areas. So I appreciate you for bringing that out, sister. Thank you very much.
All right.
Much love.
Bye, y'all.
All right.
Love my baby.
I'm going to go to the next guest. I think is it Nene next or is it Just?
Am I?
All right, you answer first. So, Nene, could you give us your age and pronoun, please?
All right. I'm a younger person. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm a younger
No, you
person.
gotta be over here. You be up here.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, I'm 19.
Okay.
Pronouns she, her, hers. Yeah. So
Okay.
I am.
And your race?
I am half white. Both my parents are mixed. My dad's half white, half black.
All right, I'm not asking what your parents are. How do you identify? Who are you? What is your race?
I identify as a mixed race individual.
All right. Hey, thank you, Trav. Hey y'all, should I just let them come up here and say that for this live, or you know what I'm saying?
Of the night.
The what?
That is the thing of the night.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Because everybody's
Yeah,
saying no. 'Cause y'all want war, but I'm not doing that. Like, to be honest, I mean,
I can see somebody saying black biracial. I call people black biracial because that makes them
right,
feel more
like that
comfortable.
actually would be true. Biracial is a description of who you are. It is not its own racial category, Nene. Um,
mm,
so you having a white
Legend,
parent
let it
is
slide.
not.
Let it slide tonight because, like I always say before, every time when they say that, we already know what's about to happen. So let it slide instead of like with every person saying that BS, having to teach them who they are. Yeah, just let it slide.
I mean, I can't.
That's my
That's the thing,
submission.
right? You can't tell someone who they
Just
are.
for
I'm
tonight,
just here to
yeah, because
teach.
you know
But
it's a lot of
tonight,
confusion out here.
we're going to get the confused people tonight. Like, that's literally what this prompt is going to do all night. We're just going to be arguing.
I
All
mean,
right. So, you know what? Biracial is not its own category. I'm willing to tussle with you on that if you need to. But for now, I'll let you, for the purpose of this live, be biracial as your own category.
I mean,
You
the
just gotta
thing
wait for the
is,
5 pause. That's all I got on my fault,
Right,
sister.
right.
Go ahead,
If y'all want
Miss
to
Lady.
send
Yeah,
5 pause, you
I ain't mean to
can.
say that, but go ahead, Nene.
If you want to send pause, you can.
um,
We're gonna let people rock right now. Um,
okay,
and you gave us your pronouns.
yeah,
You
she,
did.
hers.
Okay, thank you. Continue.
Because the thing about this is, it's been kind of like a conflicting thing, right, throughout my life. Because I am like a white presenting person, right? I'm half white. My mother's Native American and white. My dad's black and white, right? So I'm technically a quarter black and a quarter Native American.
That's not true. Don't see. That's the thing. That's the thing, man. Y'all want to edit the rules of oppressive social construct, right? But then you want to follow certain rules, but then you don't want to follow certain rules. So it's like, why are we picking and choosing our best flavor of doo doo instead of just not eating the doo doo, like, or dismantling doo doo? Like, why are we sitting here picking out the corn and like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying?
Say more.
Like, you just said you're half white because both of your parents are half white. So now you're doing like, and it's not even science. Like, genetically, that's not how genes work. You get your genetic makeup from 7 to 8 generations on both your mom and your dad's side. Like, it's not just your mom and your dad that you get your genes from. So genetically, you could be half, you know, quote unquote European, uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but your brother be 60% African. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it varies based on per person. Like, it's not just, oh, my mom is half this and my dad's half that, so I'm half too. Like, it don't.
I mean, just statistically, like, that's just the general
No, it's not
background.
statistically. It's not. But see, that's the thing. I'm trying to tell you. It's not. There's no math to it. It's just racism. Racists would say that if you're half this, if your parents are both half white, then uh, intuitively, in the construct of some racist person that came up with like quadroon and all these other, quintoon, I think the other one is. I forgot the other names,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but yeah, that's all racist. That's out the racist playbook. And
Mm-hmm.
they also said that there's a thing called hypodescent, which Harvard has done a study on, talking about how it's still a thing. Only biracial people, for some reason, hate the one drop rule. We all hate race as
Mm-hmm.
a construct entirely, but for some reason, biracial people only hate
Mm-hmm.
the one drop rule. They're okay with race, but but the one drop rule is where they, oh, I
Um,
cannot. Like, it's like, you got a black parent, you're black. If your parent has a black parent, that's a black parent. But
mm-hmm.
I would say, it would be up to you how that went, because if you're ambiguous, you
I
said you're
mean,
white presenting. Yeah, it's
yes,
problematic.
I
It's
am.
yeah.
I am white presenting, like very, like
Hmm.
I guess phenotypically, I understand you say that's not the only factor in
Yeah,
determining
the
racial
other factor
identity.
would be in here. So the fact
Of
that,
course,
yeah,
I grew up around all kinds of people. Of course, I have people that I call family that are refugees from Iraq. I grew up around lots of black people. I mean, obviously, I don't want to try to prove
I mean,
that
to
to
be
you.
honest, refugees from Iraq is crazy. We're talking about race, not like jihad, but okay. No. Yeah, I mean, if you're not black in here when we ask you, then you're probably white or
I
something.
mean,
I don't know. Your parents
that's the
aren't white,
thing.
so I
Because,
mean, it's up to you. The other identifying, the other factor in determining racial identity would be culture, and so that's mental. That's like how you identify. Like, are you part of black culture?
culturally, yeah, I think I identify most with black culture. I think that's
I don't believe you. I don't mean enjoying black culture. I mean being a part of the black
like
community.
immersed
Like,
in black culture.
um, no, I mean like, can you tell the difference between pumpkin pie
And
and,
sweet potato pie.
okay, so you do know that one.
How
Okay.
does that make somebody black though?
We're talking about culture, not for you participating, being part of black culture would make you, that's the only way we would accept you that way. I mean,
As a black person?
yeah, culture
Okay.
is what matters now because you're so ambiguous and white presenting. But that's just, another thing. That's
So
so
what about like say
if
for
I'm going to
example,
go take a shower, if I'm going to go get in the shower right now and I have soap and I have a towel, what else do I need?
water?
Okay.
But okay, say for example,
Yeah.
like my mother,
Yeah, you can't make this up. You can't make it up, man. This is crazy.
okay, so say for example, my mother has like a white parent and a parent that is fully Native American, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's adopted by white people, right? What does that make her?
So you're what? They have Native American parent and a black parent?
No, Native American parent and a white parent
Mm-hmm.
and is adopted by white people.
That would make them whatever they identify as. Because if they pass as white and they're raised outside of their native culture
Mm-hmm.
or indigenous culture,
Mm-hmm.
then they're gonna act white, talk white, be as white as they want to be,
Mm-hmm.
and no one will be able to tell that they're not unless they are, raised by their indigenous side of their family, taking part in their culture. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like certain people, it's not really a choice because people like to say, well, ambiguous people get to choose. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not really that much of a choice because we can tell immediately if you're raised in black culture or not. Like
Mm.
we can tell, you know.
We, as in all the
Black,
black people.
yeah, well, no, maybe not all of them, but most of them can tell, We can even tell when black people aren't raised in black culture, but they're still black because, they have two black parents probably, or,
So what if it's okay? See, this is the thing. Like, it's a very conceptual kind of thing if we like try to think about it, because it's like,
All right, you want to play the diaspora game?
I mean, if it's like a white person, right? What if it's a white person that has two black parents?
Ma'am,
There's no
can
such
you
thing as a
pause
white
real
person
quick?
with two black parents.
Somebody turned off my fault, legend. Somebody turned off the comments. Listen, for real, it wasn't me. I saw somebody did it 2 times. Let's get to over 30K, y'all. Everybody tap the screen. Once the likes is over 30K, they did it again.
Oh,
They turn it back on. Y'all don't know who doing that. Listen, let's get to 30K to keep the comments active. Y'all can continue. It's not me. It's not me tonight. I come in peace.
oh,
I ain't
okay.
no chaos today, but Let's get the lights to 30K. I guess that's what that means.
Yeah, let's get
Continue,
to 30K,
Get the
y'all.
lights up.
It's cool to do that, Alicia. We just gotta tell people what the goal is before we do that. Otherwise, they think we just left them hanging. All right, so there's a thing called the diaspora game to find out whether or not you're black. It's 3 questions I could ask you to find out if you're black or not. Would you like to play?
How does that make you black or not? I just don't understand. Because the thing about that is, like, blackness is, I mean, who is anyone, really, to try to define blackness, right?
Yeah, that is a very confused person's question. That's we not confused. I know what black people are. Black people know. We know. I know I'm black. Every time I wake up in the morning, look at my black ass wife, kiss on the forehead, go to work. You know what I'm saying?
Because the thing is, throughout my life, right, I've tried, like, people, I'm white presenting, right? I had lots of people try to tell me what I am, and
but
it's like,
it doesn't matter what people tell you. What matters is what you know for yourself, like who you know you are yourself.
that's the thing. I know I identify as a woman of color.
That's a racist term.
But not everyone else knows
Woman
that.
of color means if you're a person of color, right? What is a white person? A person. If you're a person of color, a white person is a person without
color, I guess.
There you go. Wow. All right. So if you're a person of color, a white person is a person without color. And that highlights the reason race exists as a social construct, the reason they made it when they made it. Because it is dumb. It's dumb. It's silly. It's oppressive. It makes no sense. But it was made to serve a purpose, to exclude color from their community. They didn't want it. So they came together with people of color to let you know you ain't one of them. And so that's why having a non-white parent makes you not one of them, because you have that color in you. They don't want the color. That's why they invented the hierarchy of racism. And it's weird how I got to come up here and tell brothers and sisters, black people, that they not white when they don't go on white lives, because they know that the lives that is hosted by the Make America Great Again folks going to look at them immediately and know they ain't white. They ain't going to treat them like they white. They going to, that's the thing. But I got to sit here all day, well, not all day, but on my live and convince. There was a sister that came up here earlier, looked just as black as me. And she's talking about she half white. How are you half without color if the social construct was invented to exclude all color and you got color? That don't make sense. Whiteness is an exclusionary race. Blackness is the most inclusionary race. If I have a child with an Asian woman right now, that's a black child. If I have a child with a white woman, it's a black child. They're going to be treated as such. They might have some privilege in the community. Colorism is a thing, but that's a black child. Barack Obama was a whole black man, came out of a white woman. So, yeah.
I mean, yes, I understand that. Like, okay. I have one, if we're being real, I have one black grandparent, right? One black grandparent. And I'm raised by a whole community of people. But I have one black grandparent, and I've been told my entire life that I am not black enough. I'm not black enough.
Doesn't matter what other people tell you. That's what I keep trying to tell you. You cannot
identify.
You can't identify with what other people tell you.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I know who I am. I've
Okay.
been reassured my whole life.
So, I mean, see, reassured, that's a weird thing, but that's more validation. I'm trying to get you away from that, but okay.
But the thing is, I understand, like, systematically, I am privileged as a white passing
Privilege don't change who you are. See, that's why I'm trying
person.
to get you away from validation, because privilege only exists within society. So you're once again defining yourself based on your treatment. And
Mm-hmm.
you're basically saying, because I am not mistreated, I am not black. So
That's
are
not
you
what I'm saying.
saying to be black is to just be mistreated? Are we defined by our oppression?
No.
And you know, just you didn't say I'm not, because I'm not mistreated, I'm not black. You said the opposite, which would mean the opposite is true. If you say I am not black because I'm treated well, still the same thing. You're saying that black people have to be treated badly in order to be black, and that's not true.
Yeah, no, it's
Or
not.
so there are black people with privilege. Ask Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Mm-hmm. Right.
All right, I've got to go to the next person.
All right.
Thanks for coming up, Nene.
Mm-hmm.
Who's next, y'all? Oh, okay. Just Meg. Everybody, don't forget to tap like, tap like. We're trying to get up to 50K likes. Please feel free to remember the Panther Paw rule. If anything up here triggers you, send those Panther Paws. It's a democracy. Otherwise, we're going to keep talking. Just Meg, could you give us your age, race, and pronouns, please?
Hey y'all, I'm bringing love from NC. I'm 35. I'm white, and she and her.
Okay. What brings you up?
First of all, I want to tell you I love what you do, how you bring awareness, because it's very true, especially with two black daughters. Like, I live it every day.
Okay. I mean, what does your black daughters have to do with anything?
Because my daughters are biracial, so I just wanted to speak to you on part of the fact that I see what they go through, how my powers worse, like I see the powers. So hold on, I want to give her.
Yeah, hey man, listen,
Be quiet.
I'm going to warn any Thin Lipians that want to come up here. Shout out to Nart, man. Hey man, let me warn some of the Thin Lipians that come up here.
For me.
Y'all cannot come up here talking about you got mixed race children. We did not ask. Please keep your Chuck E. Cheese tokens at home. We don't need you bringing that up here. Don't come up here tokenizing your children. It's not going to fly. The people in this live, the brothers and sisters in this live, are too conscious to let some ish like that slide. It's just not going to work. You're going to get Panther Pawed down. I'm sorry. All right. We're going to the next guest. Shaban.
That's close. It's Siobhan.
Shaban, could I have your age, race, and pronouns, please?
I am 26. I'm African American, and I go by she, her.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead and talk to us.
So what I want to talk about is the topic: biracial people are treated as black until they show anti-blackness. From just from my experiences and what I've heard, from my father specifically, but more of me so, just what I've gone through. I have walked into rooms where I haven't even opened up my mouth yet. I haven't done anything, and people have come up to me and said things like, have told me that I'm white because of the way I pronounce words. The way I'm like, what? What are you talking about? They're like, no, you got to be white. I'm like, no, I'm black. And they just look at me, and then they'll say things off the wall, and to me, that's just a little crazy. And so I was on a live actually yesterday, same kind of topic, things going on. So of course, I'm tuned in, and I hear them say, someone say, hey, if we have to ask, what are you, then you're not black. And so I immediately sent in a request, waited a few minutes for me to get in there, and I called it out, and everyone there was agreeing or laughing. And I think a lot of comments are said offhand, and unfortunately, and it's to the detriment of a lot of people, but it's not called out. It's not. I think it needs to be talked about. And so when people say stuff like that yesterday, and actually, Brother Legend, it's one of your people that said it. So I was like, I thought I was
one of my people. What you mean by that?
I think she's a mod for you, and I am assuming. I just see her kind of up.
Oh, I thought you meant black people.
No. That's one of our people.
Okay.
So I called it out. I was like, "What are you talking? You guys can't say that." And like, no one corrected it. In fact, you guys laughed about it. So I think it can go where
it is funny when a black person come up here and say they called me white. It's like, because to us, that doesn't make you inferior in any way. So it's not the same as white folks excluding you because of your blackness and treating you unfairly. Your whiteness in the black community actually grants you privilege in our spaces. Ask Amber Rose. There's you know what I'm saying? So it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's actually funny to us. But at the same time, identifying yourself based on what other people think of you is kind of wild when you're a black person. You know what I'm saying? Because people called me white growing up too, because I used to play electric guitar. I'm a musician, so play piano, play everything. And people used to say, call me white boy. And it's not because they know I have a white parent or something. I don't, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it got nothing to do with that.
Oh no, and I absolutely do not base what other people say with my identity. But when it comes to just walking into a room, I have definitely felt, or within amongst a group of people that I don't know, and I haven't done anything as of yet, that they would say some off the hand stuff because, what are you? Oh, then you must, da-da-da. And I'm like, what? You don't even know me. You don't know you don't know any of my background. So I just think, as far as this topic goes, that biracial people can walk into a room and be treated differently before they even have done anything.
Nah, that's not true. Because the thing is, if you never showed anti-blackness, then they wouldn't have questioned you that way, For example, Fard Muhammad, do you know who that is?
I do not know.
He's a white passing black man that is the founder of the Nation of Islam. Even if you want to look today, Louis Farrakhan, do you know who that is?
No.
He's a biracial black man that leads the Nation of Islam. These are some of the he calls himself the freest black man in the world. And he's very pro-black. And no one would question him in that scenario. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what you were going on these lives saying. But
no, I wasn't. It wasn't me on the. I wasn't.
I would say know your privilege as if you're. I'm assuming you're mixed.
Biracial, what?
I'm assuming you're mixed, but I would say know your privilege even as a lighter skinned brother, sister. Like, y'all need to know your privilege. Maybe not speak so much if you don't, but No black person
Wait,
can
I'm sorry.
kick you out of blackness. Being ridiculed
I've done,
is part of being black. So
I don't.
they're gonna
I mean,
call you white.
I
They
agree
called
with
me
all
white.
what
I'm
you're
monoracial.
right. I'm agreeing with everything that you're saying. That's not part of what I guess what I'm trying to state on the topic.
I think the issue in what you're saying is that black people across the diaspora don't all see black the same. And it's far deeper than on this app when someone's basing it solely on the appearance of how someone looks. So understand that everybody, even in the black diaspora, is educated on how black shows up. A lot of people would just say that monoracial black people are black, and guess what? We just had a monoracial black woman on the stage who was very fair skinned. So it a lot. You can't think just because you go into a space that person is educated on the conversation that they're having or hosting. Some people aren't educated and understanding that across the diaspora of black, just the realm of black can go to the lightest of the light or the darkest of the dark. But it is in so many ways how people speak to things that will show up in your blackness or lack thereof. Because your consciousness doesn't have a color, especially if you're black and you're a light-skinned person. But what you were saying, I took it as if you walk into a space where black people, particularly monoracial black people, were critiquing someone based on their phenotype. Is that right? Or their skin tone?
Correct.
Okay. So again, like everybody, you can't expect all black people to have that full, that full understanding of the realm of black. There are some ignorant black people, just as well as anybody else. And we do, we're still learning as black people.
And I think that's right, exactly.
But the thing is, no matter how ignorant they are, you shouldn't be listening to them in how you identify yourself.
I'm not.
Of course not. Well, that's the thing.
And so I think to Dee's point is that, like you, Brother Legend, have a lot more knowledge than the average person when it comes to topics like this. Well, I believe so from just what I've heard. I think a lot of people aren't this educated, not even close. And so I live in Atlanta now, and I came from Houston where it was very diverse to where now I live in Atlanta, and it's a little diverse, but I'm definitely surrounded by my own people. And it gets called out a lot,
It gets called out a lot because you're showing anti-blackness.
But again,
I understand what you're saying. But this last one, you don't have to be educated to understand. Like, black people will welcome Alicia Keys to the stage of the BET Awards. Will welcome Doja Cat. What's that other girl that played in the movies with Spider-Man? I forgot her name. That light-skinned girl with playing the movies. I forgot her name, man. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Zendaya,
yeah, they'll bring Zendaya up on stage. They'll bring Drake. Drake got a white mother. We claim his ass. Come on, who else? Like, shoot, we'll bring DJ Khaled up on stage. DJ Khaled be dropping the N-word. He not even black at all. You understand? So we're having a white parent does not exclude you from blackness. Black people are not exclusionary. That is white people you're thinking about, and you because whiteness is so exclusionary, that exclusion kind of if you come around black people expecting the same kind of treatment you would get in a white space where you're also white, like if you're expecting us to treat you the same, it's not going to happen. In the black community, we're going to come at you because your Air Forces are dirty. We're going to call you a white boy because white boys be wearing dirty Air Forces. We keep our shits fresh and clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know how to tie a do-rag, we're going to call you white. You know what I'm saying? That's just, you don't know how to season chicken? You don't know how to, you know what I'm saying? Like, if your macaroni and cheese fall apart and I can't cut it with a knife, then something ain't right here. You know what I'm saying? So
can I just ask if you agree with a statement?
Uh-huh.
And this is just what I said earlier. If I have to ask what you are not black. Do you agree with that? Or do you disagree?
No, I disagree with that. Phenotype is not the only determining factor in racial identity. So if you mean just based off looks, then I would say no. I can't disagree. I have to disagree with that. I have to disagree with that.
I think
Right.
that
And I do as well. And I do as well. And but the problem was it was said on a live very similar to this, but no one corrected it. They just said, "Oh yeah, you're not. If I have to question what you are, you're not black." And unfortunately, comments like that are said,
And then
throughout
if you were confident in your identity, you just said, all right, went home and been black anyway.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. Listen,
You can't out-black my
Mona,
biracial little cousins that I raised.
hold
Like
on,
you
hold on.
said,
Yeah, y'all.
one of them
What? People
very
can't
white.
just jump in like that. Hold on, Sister Diva.
What happened?
Listen, y'all have to stay muted until it is y'all turn to talk. Right now, the conversation is with Shaban and Diva's the co-host. The only people that should be talking is Legend or the Diva to Shaban. Y'all got to give it a second not to interrupt the feed, respectfully. Go ahead, Diva.
My three little cousins that I raised, when I say that one of them is very much, I don't care what
Your
nobody
phone
else
messing
says.
up, D.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You can't tell her she not black. Like you could not pour anything but black on her. And it's how she identifies and how solid I poured that into her growing up, that she was very much black. She understands what her mother is, but she was raised by the black side. And it's an understanding of who you are, like Brother Legend said. It don't matter what nobody else say. I don't care if they're the darkest of the dark. If you know yourself, know you are black, and that's what you identify, and you having a black experience, you're going to be like, okay, if you say so, and take your little bright cell phone down the street and be like, yeah, I'm black. Like, you don't let anyone else define your blackness.
Wait till you go to
but
Africa.
the topic is, people are treated differently. Or it says biracial people are treated as black until they show anti-blackness.
Right.
But there's ignorance throughout the community where they say offhanded stuff like the comment that I just made that was made yesterday. And it's because I look like
So you're saying there's also ways in which they're not treated as, well, they're not, so you're saying it's more than anti-blackness. You're saying sometimes there are people that don't phenotypically present and they're going to tell you you're not black. But my thing is, we called Bill Clinton black. So I don't know if you remember, but you might be younger than me, but they used to say Bill Clinton was the first black president. So once again, we will accept anyone as black just because you were on a live with folks that believe the way that and felt the way that they felt doesn't mean that the last statement is not true. It just means sometimes people are going to call apples oranges, and that's just part of living in a world where in America specifically, the average person has a 6th grade, 7th grade reading level.
Right. And all I'm saying
is part of
is,
life.
A person who looked like they would have 2 black parents, these statements wouldn't be made to them. But people who do look like
it does get made to them. I just told you
that they're
yes,
not.
it does.
But we're talking about just physically.
Yes.
Physically, yes.
Light
that you're not
skin,
black
yes.
on average.
If I put on a Green Day shirt right now, I'm telling you, some people will be in the people been in these comments already and told me I'm mixed. They told me I'm somebody said I was Chinese. Like, I don't know where they got that from. I got 2 black ass parents that my father's great grandfather was raised was in a plantation that my father picked cotton on. So how you gonna tell me I ain't black now? Like, right. My mom's mother is named Franklin after their slave master in Georgia, Franklin, Georgia. So how you gonna tell me I ain't black? Like,
I think part of the people are just saying, biracial people are treated as black, but then again they go on and they say, well, if I have to question what are you, then you're not black.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you beat up? At the end of I am telling you that all black people are not a monolith. You are not going to come across all black people that are understanding of our diaspora of blackness. You're going to run into people that are just pure ignorant. But at the end of the day, if you haven't solidified yourself in your blackness, that's the only thing that can move you. Because at the end of the day, if you know that you are black and there is no question of yourself and your blackness, then nobody can move you.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. But that's not
Okay.
what the topic says. But that's all I gotta say. I'm not gonna keep
Nah,
going.
The topic
I
was
think
about
she
someone
not
only
understanding.
speaking
She
on
she don't want to
and being
listen.
anti-black. It's not about how they show up at all. It is in regards to how they speak, or they speak on black people, or have a disdain for their own people. It is not about how they show up physically.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I got on a little bit for me.
Okay, read it again and read it in your head and pay attention.
It says in the black community. She went on one black live and she's like, well, that was the whole black community. Those people on that live are not the whole black community. And that's the problem, is that we're talking about the black community as a majority of black people. You're talking about certain people on a live. In the black community, they will welcome your ass to the cookout if you can drop a hot verse. So it don't matter. There's white people that can rap, and we'll invite Eminem to get signed to Dr. Dre. We will list, like, we're not exclusionary. So until let Eminem say the N-word, then we're gonna treat him like he ain't black. And he ain't even mixed. I'm just going all the way there.
That with Justin Bieber, they say he's still black.
What?
But anyways, we're getting off topic now.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
And they still say he black.
Anyways,
I don't know about that.
I could get so many. That's not the only example I have, but I could get so many.
Can I ask you a question?
He white.
Sure. What's up?
Or is he the pronoun?
She. I'm talking about Justin.
Ma'am.
What's up? What you got?
The fact that you are up on this panel and you're having this much difficulty and you are resistant to the conversation is mind-blowing to me. You have to honor your blackness.
I do.
You sound hella confused. And the fact that you're up here making this noise and you are disrupting the live stream is ridiculous. There's a lot of people in the community as black people, brown people, or Africans that think the way you do. You are in proximity to delusion. It sounds like you want to be a napkin at the end of the day. I can't stand this. The pause is coming through because by way of how you answered the initial 3 prompts, your name, age, what is it? Name, age, and pronouns. You had difficulties. But by the way of how you're answering the question, you are a chaos agent.
No, sir.
You have a lot to learn. Hold on. You have a lot to learn. And this is unfair to the black community as to how confused you are. You got a lot to learn, Miss Lady. The fact that you couldn't answer who was it? Minister Farrakhan? Was it that y'all mentioned?
Yeah, that's wild.
That you don't know who that is. It's crazy to me. You're a black person in America.
That is crazy.
What's wrong with you? What's going on? Or you're black just in general. The fact that you cannot identify that in a conversation on a TikTok platform where there's black people and there's 400 people in here right now. The fact that you said you don't know who that is mind-blowing. But that speaks to your consciousness. And that is the consciousness of some lost in the source black folk in the community. And with that said, I'm a mute, but I can't take it no more. This is crazy.
And I'm not even sure. And so I had no problem answering the first three questions.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm black. I don't know. I keep agreeing with you guys, and you keep saying.
I don't know that you're not confident in that though.
Yes,
you
I
aren't
am.
confident, and there's things that you are misinformed of, or you seem to be ignorant in that you can't even have the conversation effectively.
All right.
And you're on a panel just being a chaos agent. And what that says, she gone.
Hey, she gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to 75K likes. I may have slipped up on the intro part, the name, age, and pronoun. I didn't catch all that. I'm in and out. Yeah. Let's get to 75K likes, y'all. And let's get to 50 shares. Share the live with up to 5 to 10 people. I come in peace today. I'm going to shut the hell up. I'm muted.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Hello.
Thank y'all.
You are in Brother Legends Live. Again, welcome in, you guys. Tap that screen. Tap, tap, tap. Let's get to 75K. Let's push it. Let's get up here. Send these paws. Stop letting these people make our backs itch. We bathe over here. But at the end of the day, you are in Brother Legends Live. Send brother some gifts. And keep it pushing. Tap, tap, tap.
Cocoa butter.
Facts. Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Dove, man. I took a shower before today. Before today's live. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fresh right now. I smell real good. I smell like baccarat. Some of y'all know what that is. Some of y'all don't. That's grown man smell. All right. Next, is it Mona or who's next?
It's Brendo, not Mona.
Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
who?
It's Mona and Brendo. We both run the
Nah,
same
Leo
page.
was
So
next.
Okay. Oh, Leo's
No,
next. Hold
no,
on, Mona.
Leo up top
go
is
ahead.
next.
Okay.
And whoever, yeah, this Mona person next. Mona, you gotta mute your mic.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you, Mods.
Leo.
Leo, give us your
What's
age,
good,
race, and
everyone? Can you
pronouns.
hear me well?
Yes, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
I'm 32. I'm black, and I'm still trying to get what the fuck is these pronouns? I'm a fucking man. What the fuck are these? He's, hers, his. What the fuck all that?
All right.
I'm a
So
fucking
you're
Come on,
her.
chill with the F bombs. Yeah,
Please, yeah,
just
you
yeah,
cursing
oh
relax.
my
We
crazy.
get
bad.
it.
All
Yeah,
right, I'm
chill
gonna
with
be
Do
the
you
F
prefer the
bombs.
term her?
nah, bro. I'm a man. I
Okay.
am.
So her,
Oh, him.
he, or they? He, him. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Go ahead. Give us your age,
Anyway,
race, and pronouns. I mean,
uh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My
nah,
bad. You
you
already
good.
answered that. My bad. I had a brain fart. Your turn. Go ahead. Talk about whatever you want.
And people need to understand the where black culture come from, man. Black culture is half white fear and other half black survival. People don't realize white people who sit there and, like you just mentioned before, they came up with white people to put down people who's not on their level, to have power over fucking people. Damn, my bad. To have power over people. So when you look in that black culture, you look at what white people are saying now. Oh, it's their culture that they're loud. It's their culture that they all this. That's out of fear. It's out of fear. So you said it so many times. If you could do certain things that black people do, black people would say you're too black. You saying it so many different ways. If you can't stand on who you are and you got somebody got to dictate who you are, bro, you need to go reevaluate yourself, man. That's just weak, bro. You're not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, I got black parents," but well, they said I'm white. Bro, why are you letting someone dictate who you are? That's the whole fear monger that this guy is literally trying to get out of your head. Why are you arguing with someone who's trying to get you to stand on who you are? It's a mentality thing. Oh, get it. Come on now. Just get it through your head. And this is going for people who wants to argue about unnecessary stuff, bro. Get it through your head. It's a fear and a mentality thing. If you're deciding to let people who is not your skin color, better if you let people, period, try to tell you you are not who you say that you are, you about as weak as the ground that you stand on, bro. Stop. Just chill out on it. So I'm gonna just go ahead and leave from there, bro.
All right. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that. I see where you're going with it. You know, that's real. Stand in your blackness. I wouldn't say that black culture just comes from those two things, but I would say black culture is defined by land, history, and culture. Black people are defined by land, history, and culture, rather, going back thousands of years, and we have the richest history of all people. So, don't let them take that away from you with a color. But Africans, that's who we really are. All right, I'll go to the next guest. Mona, could you give us your age, race, and pronouns, please?
Yeah, well, it's Brendo. I am age. I'm 36. I think. Yeah. Race. I'm black biracial, and that's how I identify, or I say it. And then pronouns is he, him is fine. And also, I want to apologize because I cannot turn the mic off. Literally, I'm trying hitting the mute button and it won't turn off because Android life, right?
All
So,
right.
so
You
No,
anyway,
got an
we'll
no,
get you.
Android, man. That's disappointing. I thought you had a iPhone saying that BS. God damn, you making us look bad, man. Team Samsung on his side. Yeah, damn.
yeah,
Go ahead,
no,
bro.
no. So I just want to apologize. Literally, I can't turn the mic off. But no, my only point I really wanted to come on here is to say that as people with privilege, if you're light skinned or you're biracial or whatever, if you, the closer you are to whiteness, a lot of people have a lot of hangups they need to take back to their mamas or their daddies, and they come into black spaces and they put the burden of any grief they have in black spaces on black strangers, and they need to unpack their privilege in private, and how they're perceived. They need to unpack that in private and not in black spaces. That's my main point, and that's something that I learned very, very young, is to not come into black spaces and do that. And that's because I was raised in a black house. Like if I was raised in a white house, that I'd have been all over TikTok acting crazy. But there's a literal
Black
difference
mother?
between,
Black mother?
black grandmother. My white mother was not in the picture. So my black grandmother raised me as if she was my mother.
Okay.
So I learned that very, very young from her. And she was also light. So she learned this in the 1930s and the 1940s. So you can imagine what she had to learn during literal Jim Crow, where she was considered black. Now our family, we were considered colored at that time. I hate that word, but that's what we were labeled as in the census, was colored folk. And I'm from the South. But at that time, when she was growing up, she had to deal with black kids throwing rocks at her as she was on her way to school, saying she was the green-eyed devil. And then when she'd go to work, she forgot to straighten her hair one day, and they beat the dog mess out of her at her job in Chicago at Jefferson Electric Company because she was black in working in a white spot, and she tried to pass, and it didn't work out too well for her because she still had black features and she couldn't hide them. So that's what I'm saying is whenever you have that historical knowledge of what biracial people, black people have gone through and what biracial people had dealt with in the past. And at the same time in this country, they had the paper bag club, the paper bag society, where you had to be, I think that was down in Louisiana, where you had to be a
Blue
certain
Vein Society?
the Blue Vein Society. Thank you very much. I couldn't remember the. Yeah. So they had the Blue Vein Society down there. So a lot of biracial kids nowadays, what I call them kids, because they have, even if they're adults, they have not unpacked the privilege that they have. And whenever black people come at them for whatever reason, sometimes these light skinned and biracial kids got to realize the historical context of why things occur and why they're experiencing what they occur. And maybe they can come to these situations with a little bit of empathy. So that's my only point, and I'm going to go ahead and hop off. So there you go.
All right. Well, thank you very much for
You're very
adding that to
welcome.
the conversation. Provided just the right amount of context. The Blue Vein Society, y'all. Look that one up. Basically, it's the last time that biracial African Americans decided they was going to separate themselves. Didn't work out so well. Didn't work out so well at all. They came running back. All right. Next, I'm going to go to Holy. Could you give us your age, race, and pronouns? Thank you, Leisha. That was so helpful.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. My name is Cindy. I'm 25 and I'm black. And sorry, did I name race and age?
Pronouns.
Oh, pronouns she.
All right. Thank you. Oh, wait. You're over 18, right?
Yeah, I'm 25.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
So thank you for setting up this space. I do feel like this is a very important conversation to have. Just to kind of get everybody like on the same page or just spread knowledge and wisdom. What Brendo said was exactly how I'm feeling. I feel like black people are the only group of people that are tasked with the burden of the emotional burdens that biracial people are going through. And I feel like biracial people aren't sensitive to that. Like, we got a lot of shit to talk about. We have a lot of shit to work through. We have a lot of shit to build. And you guys are over here talking about Oreos. Like, it's crazy. Like, I wish they would understand that, like,
Can you expound on that further? As far as what you just said, expound on that, please.
For sure. I feel like Brendo was saying, if biracial people took some time to really look at the history
of this country, and specifically how Black Americans pretty much help shape a better identity for Black people across the diaspora. They what they've been through is not only Black American history, but a huge part of Black history in the world. And all of those things that Brenda was talking about, the paper bag test, the blue vein society, that is an insane name. That is a chaotic name.
Yeah, right.
But those things are so important and to know. And if you are biracial, if you care about Black people, if you love that side of you, you're going to do the research to make sure that you are sensitive when you're bringing this up. And this is not to shut you up or to be like, oh, biracial person, go away, or whatever is running through your head. It is just, please, let's focus. That's all it is. Like, please, let's focus on the mission. Right now, we don't have time to talk about, your back and forth trying to figure out if you're white or Black. That's not really important, because it is within you. Just like, G was saying, people on here earlier were saying, it is within you. If you are Black, there's nothing nobody can tell you, because it is a state of mind. And Black people, we're intuitive. We pick up on it, like, oh, this is a Black person. Like, I can't even explain it, but this is a Black person,
Yeah, we could tell.
Yeah, like, we can tell. It's nothing to talk about. It's nothing to go back and forth about. And that's what light-skinned people, biracial people need to also understand. Like, this conversation that you keep repeating over and over again is wearing us down, and a waste of time. Respectfully, with love, it's a waste of time, because, again, we have other things to worry about. And it really just annoys me that it's another thing Black people have to deal with. It's another conversation we have to have. It's just another thing, and it's so stupid. And I just feel like, the other mixed people, the Asians, the the Indians and whites or whatever, the other mixed people, they're not doing all this, They pick
at all.
Shut up, respectfully. Pick a side and go about your business.
Right.
Whoever you are is who you are, and go about your business. But biracial people make it their entire personality. That is so fucked up.
I know.
Y'all are making this your personality, being biracial. Like, even like in music and media, like songs, TV shows, mixed dish. Like, what? What's happening? It's crazy.
Yeah.
We are not about to make being biracial, mixed, light skin a personality. We're not going to do that. That's taking away from who you truly are too, because now you don't even know who you are. You have a whole person to figure out, and you're focusing on your biracial identity 24/7 is running through your mind. That's crazy. That is crazy. So that's really all I wanted to say and talk about. I agree with you 100%, and grateful that this is something we're all talking about and trying to understand together. My position, biracial is biracial, Black is Black, but that's not to say that biracial person can't claim Black. It's just, if someone asks you, who are you or what are you? I am biracial. I am Black and white. It's really that simple.
Oh, no, you messed up there. You messed up. The whole thing, you should have just left. Why you say that?
I should have just left.
Why you say that? You lost everybody. Damn. All right, so listen. Biracial is a description, right? Like there are red apples, there are green apples. But they still apples, right? Your race is Black. You could be a biracial Black person.
Your race is human. We are all human.
Oh, man. Who invited Thin Lips up here?
No,
oh,
that's
man.
not
What, you want me to be a white person?
Oh, man, here we go. Yeah, get him up out of here.
That's not how that works.
All right.
Come on, man.
My goodness. All right. Anyway, I don't know how they sip coffee. Like, do they sip it with their teeth? They ain't got no lips to, like, cool it down. Anyway, so you can be a biracial Black person. You can be a Black person with a non-Black parent. That is possible. Biracial itself is not your racial designation in the construct of race. Black is your race, biracial is your description, because that is a description of what your parents did, not who you are. You're a Black person. Your parents are interracial, they're from two different races, That's what biracial means. So I have parents from 2 different races. It's not who you are. You are a black person
Are
because
there any
you have
biracial
black.
people on here besides me?
I'm talking to
Ma'am,
a biracial person.
Yeah,
ma'am,
I'm black, but
can
y'all
you mute your
calling me
mic?
biracial.
Ma'am, it's not your.
Mm.
Hold on. What's going on?
I don't know, man. This is not
Yo,
a town hall meeting where
all
y'all
right,
can
I'm a
just
mute, man.
jump
They
in.
just jumping up
Yeah.
here. Like, what's going on?
Oh, man. See, look, you're already getting paused. All right, so anyway, I'm going to land my plane. If you come up here, please mute. Please mute. This is not a rodeo. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what y'all be going. This is not a wine mixer. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Where do y'all be going? This is not a bowling. I don't know. Black people do bowl a lot. Anyway, all right, so that's all I'm trying to say is you're right about everything else you said. Just black and biracial are not something, they're not interchangeable, mutually exclusive. You could be a black biracial person. There's layers.
Right. So, I guess I said that wrong. So
Oh, okay. Cool.
what I'm thinking in my head is as a biracial person, they should be able to say, I am black, and then expand on the other half of them, whatever it is, because that is also a part of them.
Yeah.
I
There's
hope
a Harvard study about this called Evidence for Hypodescent in Racial Hierarchy in the Categorization and Perception of Biracial Individuals. It's from Harvard. Y'all can look it up. Just type in Google Harvard Hypodescent. 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 Evidence for Hypodescent. It's a Harvard article basically talking about the 1-drop rule, which is technically called hypodescent. And yeah. Thanks for coming up.
I'll look it up. Thank you.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
All right, man. Listen, let me say this. Let's get to the goal is 150K likes by the end of the live, y'all. Y'all know me. I'm a mod, and I like to push algorithms, support platforms, and make sure engagement continues. It's almost 400 people in here. I know in the next 8 minutes we could be at 75K likes easily. So y'all make sure y'all tap the screen. You fill up the red bar. If you tap it for 15 seconds, you're going to see a red bar pop up. If you keep tapping, it's 100 likes. If y'all all fill that up 2 to 3 times, that's 300 likes that fast. Let's get to 75K likes. Share the live with up to 5 to 10 people. And people, when y'all jump in this goddamn panel, you have to mute your mic immediately. We don't need your distortion. We don't need your fans. We don't need to hear your kids running around in the background. We don't need to hear no goddamn Ren and Stimpy or Cartoon Network or some goddamn BET or whatever the hell you got going on. We don't need to hear Maury or none of that in the background. God damn it. Mute your goddamn mic. And if you in the wilderness especially, because there been at least 3 people who jumped in the panel and they unmute their mic. All you hear is wind. All you hear is pigeons and birds flying in the background. They need to mute their goddamn mic. Or they just need to move. But with that said, let's get to 75K likes, share the live. I'm going to mute my mic and I'm going to shut the hell up. God damn it.
Appreciate you, Speak. All right, y'all. We're going to go to the next guest. Akeem, could you give us your age, race, and pronouns, please?
Yo. So, age is 29. Pronouns is him, I guess. I'm just a male. And what was the other one? Race, I'm black.
All right. Go ahead, talk to us.
All right. So actually, man, I don't really get on live. But literally the only reason why I came up here was to talk about the 1-drop rule. A lot of people don't even understand what a quadroon or an octoroon is. And once you realize what that is, you realize that all this has been propaganda, or it's been a program since slavery for us to go against each other. They don't want us to be who we are, which is we're black. If you have 1 drop of black blood in you, that means you're black for 5 generations. 5. So that means your great 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 grandfather has to be what, like, he basically, if he's black, then you're black. You know what I mean? After that, then you can be considered white. But until then, you're black. And a lot of people think biracial is like I'm black and white. To your eyes, you are. But to the other side, you're black. And that's what it always been down to. A lot of people say, oh, we're all humans. That is true. But since the beginning, they seen us and they said we're different for some reason. So you literally have to realize that. I live in Wisconsin. I'm a black dude in Wisconsin. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of my friends are white, and a lot of them mean well, but they don't know. So I teach them so they understand. So being white is not bad, but to have the knowledge of why these words are here, octoroon, quadroon, you know, biracial. When you understand that, then you understand, like, you shouldn't really be talking like that. And that's just my opinion on it.
Okay. I appreciate you bringing it back to the reason why I hosted this live in the first place was unity. You know, that's really what my whole platform is about, unity in our community. And he's right. The designation biracial as its own racial category, aside from blackness, is literally just a tool to divide us up, because if we came together, we would outnumber our oppressor. You see, they're all exclusionary of excluding all other colored people. So they make up the least amount of people. So in order to stay on top, they have to divide us up. And what's the easiest way to divide us up? By having sex with your mother. Now, now the children are gonna not claim their heritage. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the problem. So I appreciate you saying that, man.
Yeah, and I just want to say another thing. Not only will they rape your mother, but they wouldn't even claim you. They would. That's where the one drop rule is. They don't want, when they die, they don't want none of their assets to go to you. So they made sure that for 5 generations you can get nothing. So by the time you can get something, there's nothing to give you.
Yeah,
it always been a game to keep us below. But I see things differently, and I can just say that everything is, to me, I don't know if people believe in God, but it's a God plan. This is what it is. The last shall be first. And that's what it is. We always been last. We always been the meek. So who inherits the world? The meek. So don't be sad. Don't hate that you're black. Just know that your time is coming and everything's going to be okay. Everything is already okay, really. But to the world, everything will be okay. You already see it happening where even superheroes are turning black, and you see more black people in commercials, and it's happening. And it's not even a bad thing. That's why white people are scared, because they think that we're trying to take over them. No, you are a part of us. You just went up north for a while and forgot about us. But you're a part of us. They're just a group of y'all that have a consciousness of kill, separate, destroy. And that's the group that is scared that once they are known, that the other white people are like, oh, we're not part of that. You know what I mean? So you just got to be careful.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's real. Shout out to this brother. All right. And I'll go to the next guest. Who is that, Leisha? Let me know, Leisha. Somebody said it's a no. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, we could talk about the human thing, but I'm gonna let that rest.
I think growing is next.
Oh, no,
Who's trying to jump in and interject before? Unless they wrote something else in the comments, yeah. I don't know.
Now, Alicia said JLB.
All right, so y'all got it, because I'm not even really paying attention, yeah.
All right, go ahead, JLB. Give us your age, race, and pronouns. Wait,
I've
weren't you
already
up here
been
Hold
on
on,
before?
and you
live.
notice that, right?
Yes,
Hold on, JB,
hold
JLB,
on, hold
sorry.
on.
Hold on,
Oh
hold on.
man.
You
Yeah.
notice how, now I'm gonna let her go. You notice how something been happening where people who jump on the panel, they just throw them in wherever in the panel. Like, you don't stack them up in order.
Yeah, I noticed.
Like
Yeah.
you asked, yeah, it's some weirdness going on. That's new. Like I've been
Yeah.
noticing that for the past week or something.
Word.
Usually it'll stack the new people up on top behind another, but it just throws people in wherever they have.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
go ahead,
noticed.
JLB or whoever that
So
was.
I just have a question. I have a question I really want to know, because in regards to the black community and biracial people are treated as black until they show anti-blackness. What are, as being black and you being black, I want to understand, because yes, I did not grow up around a fully black community. My father was not in my picture. I was raised by a white woman. So I really want to understand what anti-blackness means.
JLB, can
Because,
you pause? I got a question for
yeah,
the people in the panel, especially the mods that have been paying attention. Did JLB not get kicked for pause, or did she drop
I,
before she got the pause?
Nah, she got kicked.
Unless y'all brought her up for a reason, yeah. Because I'm just making sure. I ain't
I'm
really
just
paying too
asking
much
a question.
attention.
I'm not
But
trying
I'm
to
just throwing that
argue
out
or
there because I
anything.
guess there's a reason y'all
Yeah.
brought her back up. But listen, I'm just throwing that out there. I think she
All
got
right.
kicked
Yeah.
for pause.
Yeah, she did.
So yeah. All right, I got you. Cool.
Oh wait, did you bring up your kids? No, that wasn't her. Never mind. That wasn't her. All right. Go ahead.
But that's my question. I want to know what anti-blackness is,
Okay.
because
Google it.
like no, it's something I want to
Yeah.
hear from
Google
you
it.
guys, or else I
Nah.
wouldn't come
Google
to
it.
ask you.
Google it.
Okay, so is anti-blackness because this is how I've been treated, because I like to listen to a certain type of music, let's say country or rock music. I was told by my friends that are black, oh, you're not black because you listen to that shit. So is that
No.
anti-blackness?
Please don't curse. And no, that's not uh, treating you as non-black. That's treating you as black. To be honest.
How
Man, black
so?
people are not a monolith. There are gothic black people. There are black people that listen to gospel, country, everything. I know so many black people that trail ride, that hunt, that do
That's
everything anyone
me.
else
That's the
does.
thing.
I hike, ma'am. What does that have
Yeah,
to do
that's
with me
how I
being a
am.
black person? I kayak.
That's
I'm black
exactly what I'm trying to understand, because every
because
time
you're
I
not
listen to
correlating with anti.
country or
But that's not
But that has
anti-blackness.
anti-blackness. That has nothing to do with anti-blackness.
okay, so that's all I wanted to know. As long as it's not considered anti-blackness, I respect it.
And more than
So,
likely, we're picking on you. We created country, ma'am. Now, see, that's the history and the context, and some people need to learn. Black people created every genre of music: rock,
and that is true.
country.
That is true.
It's a me thing. I think that a lot of people, and this is no shade, no tea, but for all my little cousins, they went through identity crisis. And one of the things about being black is, and having someone that solidifies your blackness, is you have to also know within yourself how you show up. Because can't nobody, I don't care if I go do the most goofiest thing you've ever seen. And somebody be like, oh, that's a white ass. I'm gonna be like, yep, and I'm black and I'm doing it.
Exactly.
True. All
Exactly.
right. I respect it, because I used to take offense to that as somebody that is black, and having somebody else tell you, "Oh, you ain't black enough because you listen to that stuff."
That's part
So
of being
that
black.
shit,
If
it
you
was
were
offensive to me.
non-black, they would have never said that to you. They only said that to you because you are black.
Okay,
They say
I
that to me
respect
too.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, then
JLB, can
I'm
I
gonna
say
get
something to
off.
you?
Yeah.
I get offended because I put raisins in my salad. I eat
No,
pumpkin
you
pie.
can't.
And I
No,
don't clean my
nah.
chicken. That's extremely offensive to me too. I
No,
get
nah,
offended all the
hell
time.
nah. Listen, I clean the hell out my chicken. I don't put no damn raisins in my freaking potato salad. So,
Do you let your
so
do you let your pet sleep in your bed?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't own any pets, so hell
Okay.
no.
All right. Cool. All right. Or lick you in the mouth.
No,
Okay.
hell no.
All
That's
right.
disgusting. I won't even let them come near me if I had one. I had a cat and she was not allowed near me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I appreciate it, y'all. I'm about to get off.
All right.
I don't know how to
Peace.
exit this.
I got you. All right. We'll go to the next guest.
On how to drop from the guest box is anti-black.
Oh, where we at? 84. Oh man, y'all been blessing the live. Keep tapping like Let's get to 100K, y'all. We almost there. We almost there. Protect the live. We had somebody up here dropping some words earlier. So to protect the live. Appreciate y'all. Go to the next guest. It's growing something. Give us your age, race, and pronouns, please. While she does that, you're not black if you don't own a comb like this. If you're a
Sure
woman,
do,
if you're
'cause
a
she
woman
asks
and you
me
don't
when
own a
I'm
comb like
biracial.
this, you're not black. These long like little combs like this.
It's called a rat tail.
Go ahead, growing.
Okay. I'm 47. And I'm a she.
You said you're black?
Whole black woman, yes.
All right.
Yeah,
And,
a whole black woman with a white grandfather.
all
Yup.
right.
Yep.
Glad.
And
not
don't
glad to
tell
hear it, but
and
glad
don't
to hear
tell
that
me
you're a
I
black
ain't
woman.
black. That's this new generation on this biracial, this and that. I'm 47. I've been black.
Okay.
Say it to my face.
They would never.
I know
You
that.
sure about that?
So I'm with it. But my children claim to be half mixed and half black. And I think they sound ridiculous.
Did they have
know
a
they're
black
black.
father?
Excuse me?
They got a black father?
Of course, yes.
Okay, so what they talking about?
Of
Why
course,
you ain't teach them
new
children?
generation. It's the
You
new
no, that ain't
generation.
that new generation. You ain't teach
It's
your
the new
children.
generation. Simple.
Wait, hold on. Somebody got an echo, man. Y'all gotta. I
Be
don't know.
cool. You gotta mute, man.
So
Come
why are
on,
we
dog.
Hey, mute when you come up here, man. Please, thank you. That's you the mother. You supposed to teach the culture to the children. Not supposed to, but usually in the black community, the mother is
I'm
the
doing
one
my
that.
job. I send my mom to an
Well, you tell them who they are, don't they?
They know who they are. But it's cool or something to be mixed or biracial or this or that when it wasn't. I was raised one drop. Now it's all different. I can't relate.
Nah, but that's some anti-blackness coming out of them. That's what I'm telling you. You got to let them children know. That's because why are you trying to center your identity around, non-blackness? Like that's a stretch.
They're very.
You got to let them know that we are all mixed. We all mixed. Ain't no such thing as pure black. Ain't no such thing, to be honest. Never mind. I mean, there is no such thing as pure white either. I mean, we're all human, and race is a social construct. There's no genetics to that shit. But there's definitely no such thing as pure black. Even if you go to the African continent, they are mixed with different types of black people. So it's no such thing. Like black is to be black means you mixed. Whiteness means that your genetic variations have adapted to one particular phenotype over the past 8,000 years. Only 8,000. Black people, we go back 300,000 years, according to anthropologists. We go back 300,000 years we've been around. We know what happens when the earth is all black. There's never been a time when white folks have been here by themselves. So, that's just, I'm just saying, you gotta teach, don't have them kids saying that. That's messed up. I hope they learn to love themselves.
Oh, they love themselves.
You know what I'm saying?
At Morgan State University, yes. They know exactly who they are. They just say
Oh, they just joking.
they're joking because they know it gets me upset.
Yeah, I don't like them jokes.
I don't either.
Who they are, how they know who they are, but they're saying that they're mixed, not black, and it's cool to be mixed.
No, what they say to piss me off is that they're half mixed and half black. Yeah. They fully know that they're black.
They sound dumb.
Well, yeah, teenagers sound dumb. It's what they do. And they just want to make their black mom, who happens to have a white grandpa, pissed off. That's what they're doing.
Is
And you,
Granddad still alive?
no,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
47,
So
sir. No.
they are really stressed. Yeah, they just being funny.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
it's doing too much though. But
It's doing a lot.
mm-hmm.
And you know what else is doing a lot?
Mm-hmm.
All this nonsense I see on TikTok about, well, if you're biracial and your mom is white versus if you're biracial and your mom is black. What is this nonsense?
And then they're gonna bring up the
Not
Virginia.
nonsense. That's not nonsense. Because most of the black biracial kids that get up here be so confused about their blackness when they have YT moms.
Yeah, but
It's not all, but it's a lot.
no, but you can't use that as a blanket
No,
statement.
you
It's
can't.
still not. It's still
And
not
you
true.
really need to
I'm
shut your
saying
mouth
that
if you
I'm
ain't
saying
biracial. You just need to
wait,
hush and take a
hold
back
on,
seat.
not too much.
Because
Don't be
this ain't your show.
Oh
This
Lord.
ain't your topic.
Hold on. I want to
Sit
say,
Oh
down.
Lord.
Sit
are you talking to
down.
me? Are you making
Yeah,
a
I'm
statement or
talking
are you
right
talking to
to
me?
you.
I think
Are
Right
you
to
talking to
you.
me?
Leo, was that number
Yes.
5?
I'm gonna tell
Yes,
you. You
I
sound
am
like you drunk or
talking
you
to
high on
you.
this motherfucker anyway.
Be
Yeah,
not
that was
Don't you
number
drive
confused.
5.
your
She
ass up
gone.
here to say so
Be
much
Cause it
not
was
nonsense.
full
But
wrapped
confused.
up
at the end
growing.
of the
Yeah.
day,
All
I
right.
said what I said. I
Damn.
meant what I
Damn.
said.
Damn.
Oh man. Well,
Damn,
thank you,
damn,
Leo.
damn. I gotta do it one time. Nah,
Shout out to
nah,
Leo.
nah, nah.
Nah,
I can't even get
Nah,
my
nah,
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 opinion in. I gotta
nah,
go.
nah.
nah.
Hey,
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 hey.
Piss me
hey.
off.
You
Your ass
gone.
is gone.
Listen, man, today been a hilarious night. I've been on one today. I'm glad I came in this live today because I needed this shit. I ain't gonna lie. I needed to be here. That's why I'm goofing on because I was on some shit earlier at different
But
panels.
wait, to the
So I'm
whole,
gonna
can I
shut the
say
hell up.
something
Go
really
ahead,
quick?
Diva.
Can I just say something really quick to D? D, I was
Mm-hmm.
feeling everything that you was saying, right? But I'm biracial and I have a white mother, right? So you saying that we're confused as biracial people with
What
white
I said
mothers?
was, you will see more of these children that have YT moms that don't know how to identify themselves, and they will come up
Mm-hmm.
here and say they're mixed or they're something other than being black. Not
Right.
all. I said not all, but she obviously
Mm-hmm.
was drunk or high or deaf. I don't know what was
Yeah.
between her damn ears. But at the end of the day, yes, you do see that more. And then you do see black biracial people that have black mothers that are more solidified in their blackness. You do see it. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
If that
Yeah.
bothers somebody, then go look. There's
No, I
enough
thought you
evidence
said
on
all
this
too. I
app.
thought you oh, because she
Yeah.
was talking over you, so I couldn't really.
No, but there is people on this app,
No,
and
that's fine.
I got into a little debate with one of them on my content. I've got a video that's down there. There is people on this app, monoracial. I don't even like that term, but monoracial because we're talking about this. Black people on this app that will say if you have a white mother, you're white by default, and that is wrong because there are people with white mothers that still live a black experience. Although it might be a more privileged black experience, they still live a black experience. So we can't, and they will identify as black. So like Barack Obama, he went ahead and married him a black woman, was a whole black man, came out a white woman. So you can't say that by default. You know what I'm saying? And since when did black people become the exclusionary race? Like the opposite of racism is anti-racism. So we don't believe in the whole race thing. We know that it exists. We know how we have to maneuver in it. We have to teach about it. We know that it is something that we can identify with in each other in order to come together and unify against it. But since when did we become the race that excludes people for having a drop of whiteness? Like, this is ridiculous. Why are we taking on our oppressors mindset and excluding ourselves, dividing up our group, which is already a minority in this country, not in the world, but in this country, and saying, yeah, you're not black because, like, come on now. This is stupid. We thinking like them. We can't bring down massive tools with massive house. But anyway. Who's next? Who's next, y'all? Somebody tell me.
Lou.
Lou? All right. Lil Mama.
Yeah, and then it's B Cole, and then I am.
All right.
For a second.
When the B Cole gone, yeah, that's goofy. I was going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, miss.
I only came up here for a second because of Grown, because she just sounds like she's a hurt individual. She just sounds like she's been hurt her whole life.
Yeah.
Like, man, it sounds like a parenting problem. Because I have a white mother and I have a black father, and I have realized that I'm always identify as a black person ever since at the age of 11 years old. Because at the end of the day, because to a person's eye, they ain't gonna sit there and take the time to see it or ask if I have white in me. They ain't gonna sit there and take that time. They gonna sit there and automatically see me as black.
Right.
So, man, it sounds like you just need to go to parenting classes, or you just need to stop having kids, or you just need to learn to heal. It's gotta be one of the two. Because, dude, I ain't even gonna talk too much because I'll get disrespectful. Let me just stop.
Thank you, little mama.
Get disrespectful. Hold on.
No, stop it.
Get
Smith.
Don't do it, Jamal. I think she's drunk, man.
Be mad when she got on D because, first of all, Nicki Minaj, don't come up here talking crazy because you can't control your kids. Let's just talk about it. Just because you can't sit here and tell really what your kids are at the end of the day, don't mean you gotta sit here and think that everybody else does this. Like, yes, there's people out here who are biracial who are confused. This is correct. There's some that are and there's some that's not. But just because you have a bad experience, you want to think that everybody is. Like,
And I
no.
ain't gonna lie. There's biracial people with a white mother that's confused. There's biracial people with a black mother that's confused. Meghan Markle says she wasn't treated as black. She ain't know she was black until they started treating her bad. Then she said, okay, I'm black. And then you got monoracial, black mom and black dad people that are confused. Like, they around here calling themselves Native Americans and Jewish and all this other stuff, Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Like, so then we got that. Like, there's a lot of confused ass black folks walking around here. Dominicans.
Don't go there. Please. No, that's just for the end of it.
Because that was
Just say something.
that was just
Yeah,
like,
with the whole
man.
Dominican situation versus Haitians. B said something. I'm gonna just say that because I hear it too on the app and I see it. Yeah.
Listen, I'm playing.
See, I know.
Yeah.
But listen, it's some shit that be going down on this app when it comes to the diaspora situation. I'm gonna just say that.
Yeah. Well, and then we also have. I won't single out the Dominicans. It's also the Ethiopians are the Dominicans of Africa. All right.
Say that.
All right. So, thank you, little mama. Appreciate you. I am Art.
Thank you, love.
Give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
31, black, she, her.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead and talk to us.
I really just came up here for that lady, honestly, because she sounded so crazy. And when she really said that her kids said that they were black, they're half mixed and black, she sounded so crazy.
Yeah.
And I really just wanted to say, like, my son is 4 years old. He knows he's black. There's no confusion. So when people get up here and say that their kids are confused because they're biracial or they're mixed, like they're biracial and then they have a black father, but the kids are still confused, that's because you didn't educate your kid. You have to know everything yourself. That's why your kids don't know who they are, because you don't know who, like her. She's talking about, don't tell me I'm not black. If somebody said that to me, I don't give a fuck. I know who I am. You can't tell me nothing. I'm not gonna argue with you about it. I don't gotta prove none of you. That's it.
Right.
Moving on.
Exactly.
So, her being so like gung ho on proving that she's black is weird, because it's plain that you know who you are. Then just move on. That's it. So, but yeah, that's all I had to say.
Appreciate you. And that's real. Shout out to the sisters.
No black person ain't black.
Shout out to the sisters that's raising their children with knowledge of self. Sisters be holding it down for the culture. What's the name of that game that African children play when you make fun of each other? We used to call it, what's it called?
Dirty Dozens.
That's what Dirty Dozen? Shooting the dozens
Or you
or something?
camping. Yeah.
Yeah, shooting the
Ranking.
dozens. Yeah, we didn't call it that. Yeah, we used to call it roasting or
Yep.
we used to just say get them, like, get them, and like but yeah. Anyway, shooting the dozens is a ritual that goes all the way back to Africa. Basically, it has actually a reason that we did it. It's to make fun of you and your identity what you dressed in, what you claim that you are, poke fun at you so that you toughen up and become more secure in yourself at a young age. That's why it's mostly boys that play this, but it goes back thousands of years in Africa. It's part of our culture, and that's why it's wrong when we have these thin-lipped teachers teaching our black boys, because they villainize them early on for things that are in our culture. Oh wow, someone gave us the name in Zulu. I can't pronounce that shit. But there it is. Wow. See? Playing the dozens. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I know that's like more of the original name, but yeah, we called it roasting, stuff like that. But nah, that's crazy. Yeah, so when we make fun of you saying you white because you this, you white because you that, what we really saying is we want you to stand 10 toes in your blackness. And so that's why some of the people up here are saying, somebody told me I wasn't black, they ain't doing nothing to me. I'm gonna go about my black ass day. Like, and that's how it is. That's what shooting the dozens. I mean, playing the dozens was actually for. So that's the thing. Oh yeah, and the funny thing
I
about
wonder
that
how
is,
many YT people told us she wasn't white.
right. But, one more thing about playing the dozens, and this I'm getting from Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys by Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu. He talks about this, is that it shows the matriarchal hierarchy in which African and black communities like kind of operate, where in playing the dozen, I keep calling it shooting, but in playing the dozens, the children will try to hit you where you're weakest. So they'll make fun of the strongest person in your house, your mother, your mama. So that's where we get the yo mama jokes. That's from Africa. So that's another thing. If y'all ain't know, yo mama jokes, yo mama this, your mama that, is from Africa, because the hierarchy in the family, like who's the most important, especially in matrilineal tribes like the Ashanti tribe, the mother is at the top. So they're making fun of the most powerful person in your house and trying to get you to act out of character. All right, I'm gonna go to the next person.
Legend, can I say something real quick? Like, I just need 1 minute.
Yeah.
I want to say something on the live just to give people perspective in terms of, or just like a context as far as interracial dating and what that can do to a black child or interracial parenting. So I don't know if people in this live, if you're a black person, if you've seen the movie Kerry Washington, the Netflix movie, American Son, where she plays a black mother and she's married to a white husband.
She always got
this man is... Yeah, hold on. I'm saying this for a reason. I just need like 60 seconds. She's married to a white man, but she has a black child. That is a so-called biracial child. By the end of that movie, that child is unalived by a cop. But it took them the entire movie for her to realize that her son was gone. She was at the precinct going back and forth with the the regular police officer, but it took until a chief or a white coat cop, which is a black man or in leadership, to come and humble her, to give her, to say to her, your son is gone. When y'all exist in these delusions of interracial parents, black mother, white father, what happens to the child is, if that white father is not socially aware of how to teach that black child who he is, and only the mother is able to teach her what she can, that young man is lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
And I'm going to add to that, and I'm going to land with this. Let's say that black child is raised in the projects. You haven't been raised in the projects. You're in proximity to the hood. You're in proximity to blackness in terms of what happens in the majority in this country. But if that black child is raised in the suburbs, Harlem versus Dobbs Ferry or upstate New York, that white-minded child, which is a black young child, believes that police brutality is not real, or by way of the consciousness of his father, the lack of learning of the lack of awareness in terms of his blackness, that child will come into a city like New York City or land in Harlem, and he'll deal with a cop, no matter if it's a white cop, a black cop, a Hispanic cop, what have you. That child, because he's in the suburbs, believes that he's untouchable because he has a white father. And that's confusion and delusion. Versus if that child is born and raised in the projects, he already know. You living in the projects, you see cops all the time. And that is the chaos and destruction and the issues for me when it comes to, let me say, a biracial parent or biracial parenting. You got a black mother who's scared for you if you're a young black son, matter of fact. And I'm going to stick to a son. Your black mother is scared for you. But this white father has no idea what it is to be a black man or a young black man in this country. When y'all exist in this consciousness of labeling yourself biracial, or if you're not aware of what this country does to black people, you can easily be unalived and end up another goddamn George Floyd, but be in your teens. Because you think you're in proximity to whiteness by way of your father. And that is the problem with interracial dating or couples or marriages. That harms a black child. So I said that for a reason, because let me say this and I'm going to land here. There's a lot of people who come on these panels. They always say I'm mixed racial. But I always say this. I can tell by now, as far as how long I've been in this platform, who's going to be getting the 5 paws and who's not. Just by way of how they answer the question. But when they're resistant to answering certain things, or they try to protect their so-called whiteness or white consciousness, I already know what it is. But with this app, it's amazing to me that we have access to each other just by way of talking to each other. Right now, let's say we in all 50 states. There's 50 people listening to this right now. Before TikTok, I mean, there was Clubhouse and all this other shit or stuff. But for me, I'm going to put it this way and I'm going to land. I'm amazed by where black people are in terms of how they think, what they do or don't know, and how aware they are themselves in terms of their race category. And it's also sad because I can already tell just by way of talking to you for 5 minutes or hearing you, whether or not you're going to make it out here in the world or you're going to lose. And that, I mean that in a bad way in terms of losing. Because you're going to be one of those black people that's out here thinking that you Uncle Ruckus and something going to happen to you out here. And it's sad. But this is the dangers of interracial couples. Because when it's black on black or black love, a nuclear black family, that young black boy or that young black girl knows what's up. More likely that young black boy will know and have awareness as to what can happen by the time he leaves school in the morning at 6 in the morning till he get back home at 5 p.m. Versus if there's a white parent in that household. And I'm going to shut the hell up, man. I just wanted to throw that out there because it made me think about this shit. Somebody said something. There's a reason I brought up the movie. But that's the problem with interracial dating. A lot of people don't want to accept that. But, you know, when you in proximity to a white person in terms of your family structure, it don't help you as a black person. And I'm going to shut the hell up because I feel like I'm ranting. But I just wanted to throw that out there. I said I needed 60 seconds, but I just wanted to, throw that out there. The movie is American Son with Kerry Washington. I don't know if y'all saw it on Netflix, but that was a good one for me. And, I like to tap into shit like that to be reminded as to what the U.S. is, which is BS, goddammit. And I'm going to shut the hell up.
No, that's real. And I would say, we need more black fathers raising black boys to be black men. The sisters hold us down the best they can. Shout out to the sisters that's raising young brothers, but it's only so far a sister can take a young brother, In our culture, we would take the boys away from the mother, away from the women. At a certain age. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we don't do that no more, And so that's the thing. Uh,
Really quick, because I do agree with that, but people in the comments are saying that it does depend on parenting, and I do agree to a certain extent, because I do have a white tea mother, but I've never been confused about who I was because my black father was very present. I was raised by my black father, so it does have to do with parenting. But I don't know, I was never confused, but I do agree with everything you just said. Speak.
yeah, it don't mean everybody gonna be confused. We talking about just family structure wise. What's that, D? You was about to say somebody else about to say something?
No, that was me. I was just saying, because I'm about to say I gotta go say it and then get off here so you can let others get on. But like I was saying, I definitely agree with that. I think it sometimes depends on parenting, and sometimes it don't. Because like with me, I learned my lesson because of my white side of the family. That's what made me realize the most. Because I got called mutt, I called an abomination. I've been called all types of things from my white side of the family. I'm sorry, white T side of the family. So me growing up, that's what made me realize, and I never had a father figure in my life. So, so I had to learn myself at the age of 11 to figure out what I really was. So, like I said, I do agree with what speaking. I don't want to say her name wrong.
It's hard. I don't know.
So I definitely agree with what both of you say. I agree that it believes on the parenting, but also sometimes it doesn't. But I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna let people get on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go.
I I understand what he's saying on a masculine level. I don't know about the sisters. I mean, I don't know about the sisters. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for y'all. I could tell you now, a white man couldn't have raised me. I had my father in my life. He died when I was 15. I know what it's like to have a father and to lose a father, not have a father. And I could tell, like when a brother wasn't raised with his dad. I could tell because I had one. So I could see the difference. Um,
Says that speak. I mean, not speak, brother. My brother always says that you can tell the way a man carries himself and how he deals with situations.
yeah, you could tell. It's
Yeah, a son, especially raised by his mother versus his father, which is what y'all talk about. You can tell that young man is going to be super emotional, not lack self awareness, and operate as a woman in terms of his consciousness.
more likely
He's
to be,
all over the
bro.
place, and he's not logical. Yeah, he's imbalanced because he's raised by a woman. But if that father was around, which is part of the conversation, it's different. And you could tell just by how somebody talks and answers questions, especially on this app, what's going on. You could just ask them the question, were you raised by your mother? Yeah, we know. We know.
That's the thing. Somebody said, what about people who have two moms and two dads? If you have a boy and you are two sisters raising a black boy, he needs to be around black men to learn about how to navigate this world, this anti-black man world. As a black man, he still needs to be around a man. Unfortunately, we love to just blend the genders and say that women can do everything a man can do and all that other stuff. That is cool, but at the end of the day, boys gotta be raised by men. How they gotta learn from men how to be men. If not, then they're not gonna learn how to be men. They're just gonna grow up. I'm gonna go to the next person. Kimmy, could you give us your age, race, and pronouns?
Yeah, I'm 49. Age race. I'm biracial, but I'm black. Age race, and I'm say she. So I wanted to say, because I was listening to the especially the girls in here that were coming up, and you could tell that
The who?
the women in here that were coming up, and they were, they didn't want to say that they had a hard time saying that they were black, or you know what I mean. And I want to say, and then they had people questioning them. This person said I was white or this or that. Anytime that happens, I want them to think of me. I'm like the fifth lightest person in the world. Okay. And I will tell, I don't care. My mom's black. She told me I was black. You know what I mean? That's how I was raised. I'm black. I don't care what anyone says. I want them to think of me and be like, if that girl can say it, then I can too. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because that
Okay.
makes me sad. It makes me sad that they don't have that confidence. And my
Um,
parents have been married for 50 years. So I was raised with both sides.
okay.
So
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to get them to not have to be validated from outside, themselves.
right.
But okay. So
I know they're judging me. They always judge me on here on TikTok. Like, I have never been judged so much in my life on what my race is, except, and I'm going to be 50, except when I come here on TikTok, and it, it's like the other day I was in a live and we weren't even talking about race, nothing like that. And I said, I don't even know what I was talking about, this cartoon that my son used to draw, and it starts with an H. I don't even want to say it on this live. And the live host was like, "Oh, I don't know if you could say that." I was like, "Oh, okay, sorry." Blah 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 blah. And then this girl was like, "White woman." You know what I mean? Just like,
so you have
come
a
on,
black
man.
mother?
You know what?
Your mother's black?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I
Do you go
okay.
ahead, Q.
I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say it's to me it's more of a conscious thing. So I have two little cousins and I think three clients that are YT passing. And it's the funniest conversation when I have it with them because I always ask them, are there certain words they do and do not say, knowing that certain people don't know when they're in proximity to them who they are. One of them, she knows absolutely nothing in context to Black history or whatever, but she still identifies as Black. But it's also in spaces she moves a particular way, and when asked, immediately identifies herself as Black. And I think that no one can negate your Blackness, but I think for some people, when you show up and they immediately make that like they identify you as something and you correct them, that's different. For me, I would be like, "Oh, baby, I'm Black. I'm I'm Passe Blanc." Okay, but
I know. My grandpa used to be like, "You're the whitest Black person," and yeah. And I don't have a problem saying that, but I will tell you that I do obviously navigate spaces, and everyone thinks I'm white, and I do hear conversations from white people that they wouldn't say around Black people. You know what I mean? And I'm like, excuse me, hold up, and they sometimes I let them talk a little bit, because I want to hear what they have to say. Because sometimes they be saying stuff
record them.
that
Start
they do
taking
not
pictures and recording them. That's what you do. Do you see that
record
young?
them.
It's a young guy on here. Have you seen him, brother? He white passing, and he been getting all them kids scholarships revoked in high school.
What?
Yeah, he look, baby. When I say he is passing, and his mama is dark, and when he was like, they don't know, and he's like, I'm a secret agent. He getting all these kids scholarships revoked because he been exposing them. He be recording them.
Wow. That's genius.
Wow. Wow.
Um, okay, well, you know, I would say as you move in Black spaces, please be aware of your privilege because you don't, in your profile pic, look like you present as Black. So, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm very aware of that. My both my parents were activists, I guess, and so I'm very aware of what I look like. How it like my two brothers are way darker than me, and since my dad is white, um my uncles or my grandpa would mentor them, I guess you want to say. You know what I mean? Because how my dad couldn't tell them how to be a Black man because he's a white man.
Mm.
You know?
Right. This is what I was trying to say earlier, right? Because manhood is a different animal, but the same beast. No, I'm playing. That's from that Kobe commercial. But no, for real, it's manhood. Black masculinity is a hell of a ride. I'll tell y'all right now. is we don't get the same type of empathy from people that sisters get. And we can talk about that another time. But being a black man, especially over 6 feet tall, which a lot of our brothers are, it's like walking around life with a target on your back. And you need somebody else that's lived that life to explain to you how to navigate. It's a whole different experience. Not to say sisters don't have a target on their back; they definitely do. But you know, black men we're seen as threatening a lot faster. So
Yeah, when I was younger, so I'm the first of 23 cousins. And so my two uncles, when I was like were like 14 and 15. And when my grandma would watch me, they would have to take me to the park. And so, so I'm going to be 50. So that was like in 1979, 1980. And 3 times when we were at the park, someone called the police because there was a little white girl with a black man.
wow, that's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. And it was scary because the police literally like drug me away from my uncle and they're like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "That's my uncle." And they're like, "No, he's not. Tell us who it is." And I was like it scared the shit out of me. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to swear.
Yeah.
It just you could feel the hostility and the anger coming off of him, and I didn't even know what that was yet. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So unless
Well,
anyone has any questions for me or anything, I'll
no,
drop.
we're good. We don't want to center you too much. Thank you for
Nah,
coming
we
in.
get off that.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Listen, let me say this real quick. Listen, when y'all jump on the panel, you gotta mute. Bobby, stop harassing your phone. I hear you tapping the screen. You're not supposed to tap the screen when you're on the panel.
Appreciate you,
I hear
though.
her going crazy. All you hear is
Appreciate you,
you're
Bobby.
not supposed to tap the screen when you're on the panel. Only the people in the comments supposed to be tapping the screen. Y'all get these likes to
I didn't know I was
115K,
on it.
man. It's 300 people. Y'all tap the screen, fill up the red bar 3 times. I know we can get to 115 in 8 to 10 minutes. By the time the live end, I know we could be at 150K. Let's reach for that goal. If y'all want to keep going, keep tapping. Only the people in the comments, man. If you tap the screen enough, you're gonna see a red bar. When the red bar is full, it's 100 times. It's 100 likes. Excuse me. If you fill that up 3 times, that's 300. Between 300 taps by 300 people, we could definitely be at 150K likes. The more likes, the more people see this on the FYP, and it helps out the live host in terms of getting him on an algorithm. So as Brother Legend definitely builds, more people will be able to see the platform or the live stream. Make sure y'all gift the brother. I know not too many people been dropped in terms of the 5 cat paws. Make sure y'all gift the host, gift the man. Let's see some goddamn cat paws, some money guns, some gold coins, some galaxy, all that good hot SHIT. Like I said, I'm gonna stop cursing on your panel, brother. And the diva, the co-host, only got 200 gifts. Let's get her over 500 gifts. Gift the sister. Gift the brother. Let's get to 120. I think I said, or 125. I don't know, man. I'm sipping, man. But I'm gonna shut the hell up. Tap the screen and y'all can go ahead, man. I'm gonna shut the hell up now.
Speak. Thank you. Let's keep it rolling. See who's next. Y'all ain't tell me who was next. Leisha, let me know who's next. Somebody let me know. All right, Nikki, could you give us your age, race, and pronouns?
Age 33, race African American. Um, Pronouns she, her. Sorry, I'm trying to see if my mic is working because it wouldn't let me mute it. So the reason why I decided to wanted to come in here and talk was when you guys were talking about specifically having like a white mother and a black father and then having a child. My husband, he has a white mother and a black father. And I do know like it was very interesting, dating him and just seeing his experience, but also seeing like how I think you hit on it earlier in the discussion that why we divide why we divide ourselves so much, especially here in America. And I remember like the first time, like I was just sharing with my coworkers, like, hey, I'm dating, and what is he? Da 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 da. And I would explain, and then I would show his picture. And just like the woman who just got off, he is very white teeth, sorry, passing. and And like I remember fighting with this one gentleman, like, no, he's not black. He's not black at all. And I was like pull up like his father's picture, and then I was like, why are we fighting about this? Because at the end of the day, like you don't see this across many other races. Like you don't, why are we fighting about this, and why won't we let people in? Now my husband will definitely tell you he can never get in a discussion about being darker, like compared to me myself. Like he says there are things he knows he will never be subjected to because he is lighter skinned. But I've always found that discussion interesting, that we automatically try to, that it has now come down to like a visual base of looks, but not also what that individual their self are bringing to the culture. And if you knew my husband, he is very much like for the people. I tell him like he's a miniature. He has some revolutionary ideas, but at the same time, it's just very discouraging to know that our people are just not, I don't know why sometimes, that accepting and automatically write off before they even know if his mom is YT or if his dad is black or vice versa. It's just automatically based off of skin tone. And I just kind of wanted to really talk about that discussion and see how, if we could, see how y'all feel about being in a relationship. I think we talked about interracial relationships, but what about relationships where one is mixed?
That's deep. If they're a black person, or do you mean like you mean a biracial black person, or do you mean somebody that just claims they mix and leave it there?
Biracial black person. My husband would say he is black. Like
Okay.
that is what he would say. And that's kind of like what the fight with the gentleman at work was about, because he was so much darker than my husband, and he just kept saying no, he's not. But if you
No, here's
saw my husband,
yeah.
I am not gonna deny that he is definitely
But
pushing that white passing.
But
But
this is when your husband has to show empathy. And I know that sounds backwards, right? Because this guy sounds like he being a jerk to your husband. But this is the thing, right? We know the reason why that darker skinned brother feels the way he feels. And that's why the best the rule that I use is more melanin, more power. So that means more melanin, the more power we need to give our brothers, sisters, anybody, and it don't just mean melanin in your skin. It means your proximity to Africa. Whether, you're somebody from, the Congo that maybe don't speak English. You could be the same complexion as an African American here, but that brother from the Congo is going to have a harder time um, dealing with the power structure just because he can't speak up for himself, so that's when we need to give them more power to speak on their experiences. um we know the reason why that darker skinned brother feels the way he feels. Biracial brothers and sisters need to remember that there have been biracial brothers and sisters that have been turncoats to our liberation in the past. So a lot of us, I'm not sure if you know what epigenetics is, but it's basically multi-generational trauma that's passed down through your DNA. And you don't even have to go that far, but if you read the book Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Dr. Joy DeGroy, she talks about it
where we get defensive around certain people because of our past and our history with certain people. So that's in that scenario. I would tell your husband, hey man, you know why he feel that way? It's because of 400 years of oppression and
Oh, just to be clear, he was not there. This was more like just he was not there. It was just a conversation.
Oh, it's just a
He
conversation.
had
Oh, I
already
see.
he is way
Yeah.
more understanding, like so understanding, and he would definitely, if he could ever join the live, he would he would blow your mind with what he knows. But
That's
like
good.
he was like, it's gonna be that way because I
It's gonna
know
be that way,
how.
right?
Yeah, like he was like it's how I look, but he was like, at the end of the day, no one can take my blackness from me
And that's
and
the
what I'm
thing.
trying to build.
That's right. Oh man, yeah. Shoot,
I would have to get him to
shout
join
out
the
to
live
Humpy,
one
man.
day.
That sounds like my kind of black man. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. But yeah. So it's gonna be that way. Privilege has a price in the black community. If you're a light skinned, white tee passing brother or sister, even when you come on this platform, your privilege is going to have a price. We're not going to center the discussion around you. We'll give you some space to speak, but we're not doing that. And in the black community, that's just the way it is. If you're born rich, that's real cool. Yeah, that's what's up. You come around certain black people, they're gonna look at you, call you uppity, and they're gonna tell you, that don't mean you get to cut in line at the cookout. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta watch your privilege, because that privilege does come at the expense of our ancestors and at the expense of what we go through every day. So but yeah, so it sounds like your husband understands. That's a thing. That brother, that dark skinned brother, is not wrong for feeling the way he feel, even though I would say he's misinformed. But you gotta let him because it's a place of pain and it's justified. But
And
yeah,
thank you for letting me join. And like I said, I only wanted to join the discussion because I do think we have some of those relationships as well, similar to myself, and like, you know, g- basically giving people a chance to speak because you don't know. Like
hmm
I've learned so much more about myself, about my culture from my husband than anybody if I've ever dated, and being
wow.
also educated as well. In fact, he calling me right now. I'm gonna have to hang up on him, tell him I'm live.
Yeah.
But like in general, like it was just like for me, like I said, for the first time to receive that, I was angry for him. And when I came home, he was just so laid back and like,
Yeah.
hey, I understand.
That's what's up, man. He sound like a soul brother. I'm educating my wife. We educate each other every day. So I love to hear that, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Big up yourself.
Thank you.
All right, one love. Who's next? Tarantula. Could you give us your age, race, and pronouns, please?
How you doing, brother?
I'm well.
I'm 24. Um, I am mixed race, but I'm not black and white. Um, uh, East African and um, black. So on my mother's side, I'm black. On my father's side, I'm Sudanese. To clarify that, um, my reasoning for coming on this.
Hold on. Can you just say that? Can you say that one more time? Can you go over your race again? Just one more time. I just want to make sure I heard that correctly. Can you just repeat exactly what you said? It was just one time for me because I'm a little slow. Just repeat that one more time.
Black and Sudanese.
I was gonna say Sudan earlier, but I said Ethiopia instead, man.
Nah. I mean, we close. We close. That's like our brother country right there. It's like right next to each other. And then you got Eteria. Um,
I'm mixed too. I'm black and ebony.
see, you know what I'm saying? Um, he said, let me hear that one more time. Yeah. But my reasoning for coming on the live is because And I'm glad I stumbled upon this live because recently I had a conversation at work about, you know, who can say the N word and who can't say the N word. I don't use the word. Let's clarify that. Like I don't think that I don't just normally go around calling people like the N word. You know what I'm saying? But it came to my attention that a lot of the light skinned brethren were saying it, and it was a debate at work between uh a brown skinned peer of mine and somebody who was mixed, and he very much could be mixed with black, but he's very very light skinned, and I believe his other half would have been like Puerto Rican or something like that, like some type of Spanish. But son, he's real light skinned. We are going back and forth about, you know what I'm saying, whether or not he could say the N word. Um, and it baffled me because it's like for I mean, like if you're black, my brother, you could be black. Like I'm not refuting that fact. I can't tell you. I don't know you like that, so I can't tell you if you're black or not. But from what I see, like I can't see it. And for you to be like, I'm Spanish for the longest, I just remember whether you're Dominican, I had a lot of Dominican friends who were like dark skinned, but they would be like, nah, I'm not black. You know, you remember the skits they used to do about like I forgot who it was. It was a comedian, Godfrey or something like that. He was like nunca black, nunca black, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's always the Spanish community who ended up um kind of just like deleting that part of their history or trying to delete that part of their ethnicity, um and not really understanding that, yeah, like you're just like us, like you have the same melanated skin because you had, whether it was Congolese or, you know what I'm saying, Haiti's right next to, like, in the Caribbean, damn near. So I'm saying like there's going to be some type of influences with melanated skin in these Spanish countries. Um, as
All
far
right.
as
We
being
got to
black
bring
and
it back around. We getting off. So I'm still stuck because were you joking when you said you were Sudanese and black?
nah, I wasn't
Okay. So um, you have a Arab parent?
correct.
Okay. And this Arab parent looks like DJ Khaled?
No,
Okay, so they're
he looked like Snoop Dogg. Nah, that was a joke. He's black. He's like
okay.
the African part. Like
All
it's
right.
East Africa. Like if
So
anything, he's more along the lines of um like
no, but you said you was mixed. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, that's like saying, you mix dark chocolate and milk chocolate, and it's a different thing, but really it's just chocolate.
yeah, it's
Are
just
you
all
trying to say
chocolate.
your
I'm just
cultures are mixed?
yeah. So I'm not mixed. I'm not biracial as far as black and white. I'm just an African mutt, as like not even a mutt. Like I'm just like African. So I'm just
Yo,
black.
what
Yeah,
the hell? An African mutt is
multicultural.
crazy.
Yeah, now that's crazy. So basically, you're
Okay.
not mixed and you're just multicultural. It's okay.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Your race is black. You're a black man. You don't gotta tell people you're mixed. You just from two different black people from two different countries, two different cultures.
That's all I was saying. That's all I was saying. I don't understand how mutt is crazy.
Does it make you more exotic when you give that instead of just being like I'm black? So you're not the basic black, you're the upgraded black,
No, like I'm light skinned.
spicy black. I
No,
don't
no,
know.
no, 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 no. I'm light skinned, so I feel like I have to reiterate that,
Nah, you ain't gotta
just because
reiterate that.
I'm light skinned,
J. Cole is
you know
lighter
what I'm
than
saying?
you, and he called himself black, and he got a
So
white
I'm a
beard.
special version of
I'm just
blackhead ass. Like, what is this man even talking about? I've been muted this whole night, but this, yo, you are hilarious. Who that talking? Tarantula? Now
Yeah.
I understand why your name is Tarantula. Because
I
you
didn't speak to.
exist in a
Hold on,
tarantula
speak,
lifestyle, or in
speak,
terms of your proximity, but
speak.
you are literally black. But I'm gonna
Why
shut
did
the
you
hell up.
just
Go ahead,
lie?
sister.
I don't know I don't know why. Yeah, nah, bro. I'm black. I'm just saying from an ethnic background. I am
You
black, bro. Like
confused.
Ethnic,
I'm
You
not
black,
confused.
brother.
I'm a year
Let
older
me just
I'm
say
black.
not
this to
I'm
you.
not
Let me just
confused,
hold
bro.
on,
I never said that
hold
I
on,
was
hold on.
biracial.
Listen, let me just say this to you, just so you learn something. If anything, you literally are just black. All you had
That's
to
what,
say when you came up here is "I'm black." That's it.
okay. Well, I mean, whether or not I
We
said
got
that
you.
or I
I
didn't,
understand. You black. We got you. You are black, sir. Tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tarantula, you literally are black. I'm a mute.
all right, whatever. I never said that I wasn't black,
Because
bro.
we
Like
are
that's the
LGBTQ
funny part.
Nah,
black,
you said
sir.
you was mixed, so that threw everybody. That threw the whole thing off,
I
man.
think when you
Yeah,
use
but
your
like I started off,
vernacular with
I started
tarantula,
off
when you use your vernacular, just speaking, just keep in mind that when you're speaking, you mean mixed culture. Because I can tell when you're speaking that you have a lot to say, but probably just slowing down and actually thinking about your audience. Because when we hear mixed, we automatically think
black
mixed
and
with
white.
something else, which you should have just said, I am black. I'm a black man coming from a multicultural background, and this is these two cultures. So it gave them it now it
Exactly.
misrepresented yourself, and now you could lose people in that.
And
That's
then
just
he
my
said he was
feedback.
light
But
skinned.
he's spicy black.
And then he said he's light skinned. That's also problematic. This it's just you didn't have to tell us you was light skinned. You ain't have to tell us you was multicultural. All you had to
So
do is
can
say
I
you
ask
was
this
black.
man just one question? I just got one question. Do you have the spirit of Tiger Woods, brother? Is that what you got going on?
The spirit of OJ.
I don't
Or
even know
whatever
what
they
that
have.
mean, bro. Like,
The
to be
spirit of
honest,
Tiger
when I
Woods. Because that's a black man. But, you know, he got other shit going on. Or somebody, actually, the spirit of OJ. Do you believe you have the spirit of OJ in your spirit or in your body? Or when somebody asks you
I
when
don't
they
know what
walk
that
when you
mean, bro.
walking past somebody or you have a conversation, they ask you, yo, what's your background? You say, I'm mixed
Nah,
black.
brother.
I'm a
Listen,
mixed
I
mutt.
feel like y'all being
Hold on,
funny.
hold
No,
on.
no, no, no,
Let
no.
me
I feel like y'all being funny, and
no.
I'm
I'm just
not.
asking you. Hold on. Just when somebody asks you off of TikTok, excuse me, who are you or what are you? Do you say I'm a mixed black mutt? Is that how you respond? Or you
No,
just go into
on my
everything in
profile.
terms of
Listen,
separating race? Hold on, race, nationality, ethnicity, and culture? Or do you just throw all that in the mix when you respond to that question? What are you? If you can answer that for me, I just need to understand that just a little bit.
usually when I have to answer that question, I have to go into depth about what I am because people obviously don't realize me to be a black man. They either think that I'm some type of Spanish or because I got locks, I'm some type of they ask for a further
Brother,
description of what I am.
brother, if you look at me, you would think I was Lukey Doobie's cousin. You would think I'm Bob Marley's cousin. But I speak Spanish and I speak Garifuna. I'm trilingual. I'm super duper black. I'm 98% African. I have 2% of that nasty ass blood in my body. And I have Mayan and a whole bunch of other stuff in my bloodline. But I'm black. Yeah, I say I'm Central American, or I just identify myself as Garifuna, which tribally speaking or culturally speaking, that's a language which is a mixture of a whole bunch of shit that was converted into a whole dialect. Excuse me. That's the way to put it. But I'm black. I speak Spanish and another language, but I'm black. And you look at me, you would swear, yo, he's Haitian. He got to be Jamaican. He got to be this, that, and the third. I get it all the time. Nah,
Yo,
I'm
that's fire,
Honduran.
bro. But listen, what I'm
I'm
saying is that
Honduran.
I
I'm
never said
West, South, East African, and a whole bunch of nonsense. So when somebody asks me, yo, Eric, who are you? Or what's your background? I'm black. It's a simple response, but your entry into this conversation was crazy. I just want to throw that out there. Next time when they ask you, don't say I'm mixed. I'm a mixed race mutt. Just say I'm black.
I don't
Because you wasted a
understand.
whole bunch of time.
I don't
But I'm a mute.
understand the.
I ain't got nothing else for you, brother. You confused a little
Like to
bit, but I
say
think you
that
know who
I
you
am a
are.
I don't
But then
fancy
think
you
that I'm.
also don't know
I
who
Negro,
don't
you
and
think that
are.
I'm
I
But yeah, I'm
am
gonna
confused,
shut the
my
hell
Negro,
up.
brother.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna
and I
shut
am
up.
a
I'm gonna shut up.
spicy
Listen,
black.
let me get to my drink. I'm gonna shut the
No,
hell up.
you're gonna let me be a spicy black. That's what you're going to do, Speak. You're going to stop judging me and let me be spicy black.
I
Well,
think you.
when y'all asked, I felt the need to explain where I'm from. I don't.
Tarantula, I'm just messing with you, brother. I'm just messing with you, man.
Yeah, nah, but
Tarantula,
like, nah, I'm
tarantula,
that, bro.
and
What I'm
tarantula,
saying is that's crazy.
tarantula. Where are? Do you live in the United States?
I do.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay, that makes sense. Here's the thing. Okay, at some point, black people in this country, no matter how much proximity they have to other cultures, they realize at the end of the day that they are black. Doesn't matter where you're from, how much money you have, how big your house
Yo,
is.
homie look like Nipsey Hussle with braids, man. I mean, with
You
locks,
know what I
excuse
mean?
me.
Hold on, let me finish. Let me
Yeah, that's
finish.
crazy.
So here's the thing. You're a black man. When you walk out the door in the morning and you get in your car and you get pulled over by the police, you're black.
My
You're
brother,
not.
look, what
Listen,
I'm
let me
saying.
finish, bro. Let me finish. Let me finish.
I
You're not exotic.
He's in
Trust me, I guarantee you the police are not going to ask you. They are not going to ask you where you're from or what kind of tan that is or blah 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 blah. You just
the question when I hopped on the live was, where am I from and
I
what am I
know. I've
mixed
been
with?
on this live. I know, bro. I know, bruh. I know.
you and
All
he,
we're trying to
like, you
explain to
stop.
you is find your spirit.
He has
I
a
know you
Okay.
the
spiritually,
exotic black.
spiritually, you know, that is in you as a black man because it's all that spirituality I'm talking about comes from your melanin. Okay? Don't be afraid of that. Enjoy it. You're 24 years old. You're a young man. Enjoy your blackness, man.
Right on. I feel you.
And I think we should just touch on because I just see in the comments, the mutt comment you was asking what was wrong with that. Um, you just gotta be careful with that because it just we already got enough terms on ourselves and calling yourself a mutt down like you ain't no dog. Okay, so like
That wasn't an implication of me being a dog. That was an implication of me being as Didi would call it, a spicy black man, or a spicy a
You ain't
black man with
spicy black.
spice.
Black.
Bro,
You
I
ain't
mean,
spicy black. You just regular black.
it's
You a
all in good,
regular black person.
it's
That
all in
you
good
you
fun.
keep trying to make yourself
It was
special, but you ain't special. You just a regular
brother,
black person.
brother, it
I'm
was a
telling you now.
joke. Nah, I hear you, but my point of the whole, I mean, maybe it was the wrong term to use. I didn't mean to offend anybody, but mutt,
You ain't feel nobody. You
that's
make
not what
yourself
I.
get crazy. We ain't out.
But like
We not
that's the
dogs.
thing though. That's the thing though. I'm not implying myself to be a breed of dog. I'm not implying my people to be
Then
a
why you
breed
call
of
yourself
a.
a breed of dog? That's what
It
you think.
was
I ain't
brother.
offended. I'm
It
just
was
telling
a
you.
And
term that I use because what is a mutt?
tarantula, tarantula. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You only, in this lifetime, there are a lot of people who would love to be who you are. Okay? They would they would love to have black skin, but they don't. Okay? seriously, everyone on this panel will tell you, as black people
Brother
that have
American,
grown
can
up
I
in
ask you a question
America.
real quick? Is this why the
Who, me?
Libyans spray themselves with orange paint to
Yeah,
appear like they have melanin, like
absolutely.
Donald Trump? Is that what you just said? I just wanted to make
That's
sure I heard that correctly.
yes. I mean,
Is that what you
why
said?
do they get
I got you. I
why
got
do
you.
they get Botox? Why do they get Botox? Why do they get butt implants?
Why they sit in the sun at the beach and they
Yeah.
literally melt,
Why do they do all
or they
that?
try to become chocolate a little bit? Is that what
They
you
There
got
you
said?
go.
melanin
I got
injections.
you. I
Yeah.
got you. Let me mute.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I grew up watching this stuff my entire life. Legend and I know each other pretty well. I'm what you would consider older. I'm like that. I'm like that great uncle you've never seen or whatever. I was born in '59, so I got to see all that stuff. You know, so I kind of know what it's like to be an older black man who grew up in the '60s and the '70s. Someone who was in the military, who's been a few places and done a few things. I was in the Marine Corps. So, I'm 64 years old, right? So when I like I have a lot of experience with these things. Like I literally had to deal with a lot of stuff that I didn't want to as a human being, as a young black child, you know? So all I'm telling you, Tarantula, in this day and age, you have the ability to surround yourself with like-minded people who love you because you're black. You get where I'm coming from? That's what's up.
I hear you,
Okay.
brother.
And you need to love yourself too. That everyone on here realizes that you probably didn't mean to use the word mutt, but you should never talk about yourself like that at all, ever.
That's
Okay.
not a negative term to me, though. You know what I'm
Yes, it
saying?
is.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
it
Well,
Like it has a
to
to
negative
to
everyone,
ring,
me,
bro.
it's
hey,
not a negative
bro,
term.
Well, okay,
I
to
know,
you
but
it is,
we're
but it
trying
has a
to
negative
explain to
history.
you that you should mean more to yourself than that. That's all. If you want, hey, if that's where you want to go with that, fine. That's on you. But I'm here to say,
A term does not define the fact that I love
okay,
myself
hey,
and I'm
hey, you
Also,
don't have to
comfortable
explain.
in my
but you're
You
negating the
don't have to
historical
explain it to me,
context of
bro.
it. You're negating the responsibility of being a black person and knowing that that was used to dehumanize black people.
the word mutt.
Yes.
Yes.
They got a
So,
point.
look,
Hey man,
Tarantula,
I'm
what I
not
was
black.
saying,
I'm not black. I'm.
Jay.
I ate breakfast this morning. I'm having pancakes right now. So
I'm spicy black and I like to be exotic. Regular
so
Negro.
okay.
Tarantula, one of the things that I noticed just from hearing you talk and hearing, like, I don't want you to think that, like, everyone on this panel is trying to get on you, but I think what some of the people are trying to say is, I've noticed this in just where I grew up at and where I went to school. I noticed that some black people, not all, would introduce
Thank you,
themselves.
Jovan Christ.
What?
Um,
What?
My boy Jovan. My boy Jovan.
So you're going along with ignorance because he's just as ignorant for saying that it's like somebody's put in there, it's a means mix, and they were talking about dogs. And I
yes,
just said that it's a dehumanization of black people, especially when they were talking about women, when they call black women females, so they can operate on them and treat them any kind of way and cut them open without any anesthesia and dehumanize them. So if you either understand and respect the history and the culture of what people have literally been treated as animals, or you can sit there and be disrespectful and you probably end up getting popped sooner than later in your mouth. Because if you don't educate yourself, you put yourself in proximity of
Ain't
danger
nobody
by your
popping me in my
ignorance.
mouth.
Well,
Word,
guess
word,
what?
word to me. Ain't
Guess
nobody
what?
touching me.
Panther pause,
Word
Panther
to me.
pause. Where is y'all at? Because I can't deal with ignorance. I'm trying to tell you, sir, that it's offensive.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
You
And
obviously
listen.
aren't.
No,
you're
no,
Because
no,
not
no,
you
no, no,
listening
said
no,
because
no,
if
no,
you
no,
you
want
no.
validation. You don't want to be
What I
You
wrong.
said.
ain't
What I
listening.
said. When
Pause,
I said to
please.
Jovan,
Pause.
You're
listen
not
to me
listening.
though.
You just being
No,
combative. You're
Brother,
being
I thought you was
resistant to
on
the
mute.
reality as to
I
what
thought you
happened while
was
you
on
was on
mute,
this
my
panel.
brother.
You're being resistant. I'm a mod up here. I'm just supporting what the diva is saying. You are resistant to the reality as to how you come up in these spaces and you identify yourself. It's not cool, brother. I would have been proud of you as a so-called mutt to come in here and accept the reality that yeah, I'm black and keep it pushing, or just stop right there instead of trying to defend all your nonsense.
I'm
You
not trying to,
embarrassing
bro.
yourself out here.
Listen.
You
I literally just
are
apologized for the term.
embarrassing yourself for giving a shout out to somebody who regurgitated or repeated mix, and you proud of that. You're just black, bro. Especially being in this space, you just black. If you want to go out in the real world and tell somebody you a mutt, that's on you, but that's disrespectful. It's
Bro,
mindfulness.
y'all
This
not
was a lesson
understanding that I'm
in
using that as a term for
identity.
lack of a
This
better term.
was a lesson in
And y'all
identity for
literally
you.
coming
An
at me for
attempted
what?
lesson in identity for you to accept your reality and not come into a space and push your light-skinnedness and pretend to be somebody that you're not. Just say I'm black, bro. That's why I asked you from the initial. Can you repeat that one more
Person,
time?
you don't know nothing about me, sir. So like
I know
that
who you
I'm not
are
even
and how
talking to
you
you.
think by
I'm
way of
not
how
even
you
talking to
came
you.
on this panel. That's all we needed to know. And you gone. Listen,
Thank y'all for the pastor
listen, I've
ball.
been quiet. Hold on, I've been quiet. I ain't gonna say too much. Listen,
You have
love
not
your
been
blackness.
quiet.
Yes, I have. I ain't saying too much today. I went on like a 3 minute rant or situation with the whole Kerry Washington.
Listen
But
here, Tom.
if you notice, I've been quiet tonight. I actually been quiet. I'm being mindful because I'm sipping. Listen, when you come into these spaces, just identify yourself as black to show the fact or to announce the fact that you're proud of your blackness and you love that you have blackness in you and your Africanness or whatever you want to call it. Just love yourself, man. Push out your Pan-Africanism, if that's the terminology when you come in this space. God damn it, just say I'm black. I'm black, blackity black,
You
black,
can't tell anyone how to
black. I'm
identify,
black.
Tom.
And I'm gonna shut the hell up. Make sure we get to 150K in the next 13 minutes, man. It's almost 400 people in here. I know we can get to 150K likes, man. If y'all tapping that screen, you're gonna see the red bar. Fill up that bar 2 times. Everybody, we can get to 150K likes. God damn it. I came in peace today.
Let
I
Tom's
didn't
mic
snap
off.
on nobody. Hold on. I didn't curse at nobody. I was quiet. And this is the new leaf I'm trying to turn in other people's spaces. I don't
Tom,
want to curse at nobody. I don't want to snap on nobody
Tom,
because they can't identify themselves. I don't want to snap on nobody because they
Tom,
can't answer a simple goddamn question. I just want to
Tom,
come in peace. God damn
Tom.
it. Go ahead, the diva.
Listen,
Let me shut the hell up. I'm just fucking around, man. Let's
Christopher
get these
said,
lights at 50K.
brother, Christopher
Appreciate you.
said that Tom, aka Speak, was talking for 6 minutes straight.
You funny.
um,
All right. He said 6 minutes. I can't. All right, let me go to the next person.
I had to do my TED talk, man. I had to do a
Yeah,
TED talk at least once. Y'all know I
yeah,
usually
nah,
close
you
out with a
good.
TED talk, but I had to throw it in there just one time, man. Just one time today, goddammit.
Yeah, nah, you good. Rashad, could you give us your age, race, and pronouns? Rashad, did you want to share something with us? You been
Black, 22, male, he, him. Yeah, I did get on here to touch on the epigenetics because we just had a really good discussion about that in my classroom today. What he really just displayed, man, you really have to be careful with your diction, right? Diction matters. This language that we speak, that we were taught, English, is designed to degrade people. Every single piece of language we use is designed to speak down on one another. And it's just the worst vibes, in my opinion. You have to be precise when you, especially when somebody asks you who you are. Now, the most precise way of saying your race is black here in this instance, in your race. But we can have a discussion about where you come from, where your parents are from, how that culture is reflected through you, we can have a real big conversation about that. But when somebody asks you a question, respond to them. You know what I'm saying? How you do it. It's just his diction was very telling of his mindset. You will definitely use these words, whether you notice it or not. You will use these anti-black derogatory terms because you've internalized certain things. And I cannot believe, like, I really thought that he was gonna, oh well, yeah, that word choice wasn't the best, but he's steady pushing back. I'm trying to understand why he's trying to justify the use of him using the word mutt after
Yeah.
the way they, first of all, the way they treat dogs, how they breed dogs, and how they experiment on animals,
Right.
and then to use the word in comparison to us, and as we've been treated like animals and experiments for hundreds of years. I mean, bro, we speak English, man. Like, I don't understand the pushback. We, like I said, we could
Yeah.
have a conversation about your family and you being African, and he messed us up when he started talking about he had an Arab parent. But
That was crazy. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's just telling. It's just telling, man. Like when he
Yeah.
says he knows exactly what your attitude towards something is when you start getting up here speaking, because the language we use is how we feel. We don't use words just because. Language in the human communication is very precise and exact. Even when we do it subconsciously, it tells the story of how we feel and
Was
all these other
inside.
things.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that. What I wanted to get on here and try to just do, I just wanted to do a little tidbit about epigenetics and how we had a conversation in my HBCU biology class, and I just wanted the experience I have at a school like Alabama State University and people have at other schools. It's just different, man. We can't have a conversation about epigenetics at University of Alabama, Auburn, UAB. We can't have these conversations. So you could just, when you said epigenetics, it really just took me back to that moment earlier today where we just was in biology class and we talk about so many things there that are very sensitive, but it's ours, and it's our place to be able to talk about those things. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Wow.
Nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
But when he got up there with this anti-black language, man, you have to be corrected. And if you're wondering why you feel ganged up on, it's because, dude, you you're saying something that's detrimental, man. But I'm pretty much done. I'll let the next guest go.
Thank you, brother Rashad. Big up.
My apologies. My microphone be giving out.
Okay.
Shout out to Rashad. Appreciate you. And that, man. I might do a whole live on epigenetics. To be honest with you.
That would be so important, I think, especially for the last life
No
that you and I
understanding.
were in together, brother Legend.
Right. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
That was a wild one a few days ago. What's going on, Omi? Talk to us.
I'm so glad. I wanted to go up time when you did this live, kind of like in response to that situation, because like I think like all of these points are super solid and need to be discussed. Um, a lot of I feel like a lot of biracial kids out here and adults are confused identity wise. They're taught anti-blackness. They don't want to identify fully as black. They don't want, but they also don't want to identify as white because, or whitey because they don't have a YT experience, like fundamentally, right? No, that ain't right, but they don't want to claim blackness because then they got to claim the plight too, and they gotta pick everything up that comes with it. And so I understand it's like you got to know when you're making that choice, you're actively supporting, YT supremacy when you do that and anti-blackness, and so and they don't want to have that conversation because that means they have to be accountable. But also, it's really traumatic for a lot of mixed people out here because that also means they have to hold their family members accountable too for the ish that has been served to them, you know. And so, you know, I get that it's been a journey for me. And But what's wild though is that the way that the race topic has changed in the last 10 years versus the last 20 years, it's like a whole different conversation. And it's like that, you know, I bring that up because
Can
of the
you expound on that?
phenotype.
How has it changed? For the
Yeah, like
live, how has it changed?
it's changed because when people talk about race, especially with mixed people, it's like now it's only the only thing that's discussed is phenotype and how that sort of manifests as a interpersonalized racism. And people make racism about like interpersonal bullying, and they
Right.
forget that it's a systemic,
Right. Ism.
legal system
Yeah.
of power, and that it is being used. Oh, thank you, crazy librarian. And that it's being used to oppress, uh, you know, slave descendants and Africans today. And so like that's what's missed. Whereas like when you hear people in their 20s talk about race today, they don't understand that. They don't understand that because how they were taught what racism is different than what people lived, you know,
Right.
through the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Like they lived a whole different experience. And it wasn't just about phenotype. It literally
Oh, you got a call. I'll be back.
Yeah, I want to say this, Omi, really quick. So, I think you know I get where you're coming from, but I need to explain to you that the more things change, the more things stay the same. Okay, colorism has always been an issue, right? Like who's the phenotype? The word phenotype has only come about in the last 10 years. I agree, but colorism. I mean, Spike Lee did a movie about the entire thing in HBCUs between uh, dark black people and light black people. That's always been a thing. Okay. At this point in time, though, because we all realize that we live in an anti-black country and we live on an anti-black globe, that's the most important thing. And I completely understand where you're coming from. But we are black people. If your mom's black, doesn't matter if your mother's Jap.
Oh, you breaking up.
If that one parent is black, you're black. That's just that's you know that's it. You
Yeah, I
can't,
think
you know.
I think he agrees with you.
So
No, I agree with you. What I'm
no, I
saying
know
is
he
that a
does. I'm
lot
just
of people
saying.
out
I'm just
here,
saying. I completely
yeah.
agree with him. I'm just saying it's yeah.
Can I say
All I'm
something to
saying
Omi?
is
I think that
So I want to get some pushback after
hold
Diva
on,
go
wait,
because I don't necessarily agree with what y'all saying right now. I don't agree
wait.
with that. That something changed in the 20 years. But go ahead,
Hold on.
Diva.
Oh, but
Y'all
listen,
y'all not listening.
yeah, I was gonna say to Omi's point, what I think is very valid in this conversation is that our children have been taught to believe that there could be interpersonal racism for people that have ruled for well over 450 years. So the dynamic of how racism shows up for black people, this conversation is very much needed, and maybe you should do a live on it, brother. But like, I've been in enough spaces where you have YT people saying that black people can be racist. You know how dangerous that is to act as if someone
Right.
that has ruled for over 450 years I can
Hmm.
all of a sudden walk in and wield that same level of power over them that they have been able to have and use for well over 40 years. And that's the nuance in this conversation, is understanding that they have mind effed enough of our children, and they're still doing it society-wise now, where you have people telling black people that interpersonally they can be racist. When it is
Right.
really, like Omi said, about hurting feelings and making them feel uncomfortable for calling out probably their racism.
Right.
Right, right.
Yeah.
to
And
that.
so that
Say this. Hold on. Let me just say this real quick. I'm thinking of it in terms of the educational system in America. In primary and secondary school, by way of this country's educational system, the idea of racism is I think it's linear or just it's just one line. If you think of education by way of this country system, and by the time you reach college or college or what have you, if you start doing your own research and you learn from black professors and you get other information as to what you should have learned in terms of your identity, what happened in terms of African history and all these things, that's a whole nother, like, it's a spectrum, if that makes sense.
Right.
From kindergarten to 6th grade in U.S. American education in the educational system versus 6th to 12th grade is a standard in terms of everybody learning the same thing in this country. But once you start to do your own research, I think it's different. And I don't agree that in the last 20 years everything changed. If I'm sticking to the point that Omni made in the U.S., nothing has changed in the 20
Nah,
years.
he ain't
No, that's
say
not
I don't
what
think
he
nothing
anything
said.
changed.
changed.
He didn't say
Yeah, but
everything changed.
that's the angle I take it on. I might be wrong in terms of
No,
how I'm
Yeah,
responding
Omi's not
to it,
saying
but
that.
you having a
educational
different
wise,
conversation.
I don't think
Yeah,
nothing
because
changed. Yeah, hold on,
I'm
I'm a
out
little
here
smack too.
seeing it.
Don't do that to
I'm
me,
out
y'all.
here
But yeah,
walking.
that's how I'm thinking about this shit. But y'all can go ahead, man. Diva, chill. Don't do that to me.
He wasn't
But
saying
I'm just
that.
thinking about it in that way. In the 20 years
Yeah.
versus, so let me say, conversations we have on a one-on-one basis or as a community versus what we learned in school. Nothing has changed. So what am I missing? I guess would be the right way to stop
Let him
talking and
finish
mute.
because he
What
got
am I
cut
missing?
off. He was trying
What
to
am I
tell.
missing?
Go ahead.
So what I was explaining was that the way people talk about race, they almost want to talk about only the interpersonal stuff. They don't want to talk about race as a systemic form of power that's been used to disempower the black community, that erase our culture, and to financially destroy any sort of commerce we got. They don't want to talk about that racism isn't just me attacking you for your look, like because you look black. It's racism is me destroying your generational wealth. It's me destroying your culture, erasing your ancestry, and leaving you without any roots. That's what it is. And, in spite of it all, we still remain here and we still are reconnecting and we still are, have preserved so much of who we are. And that's what pro blackness looks like, right? And thank you everybody for the roses. I appreciate y'all. But when you talk about race, and I'm talking from a perspective as a mixed person in mixed race spaces, it's like they only talk about the phenotype. They only talk about, like, oh, okay, well, you're black if you are darker complected. If you're not darker complected, you're mixed or you're YT. And it's like, that's just not true. I mean, like, you're erasing our mothers, you're erasing our fathers when you do that. But especially within black culture, many African cultures, we're matrilineal. So especially if you have a black mother, to say that even if you're YT passing, that you're not black is just erasure on the most fundamental level of black women. And we know damn well that black women have been under attack by YT supremacy since the beginning. And in so many ways, from plantations to, to underpaid laborers, in the homes of rich white Americans, and so on and so forth. I mean, it's just crazy. And now black educators are being extorted and expected to go above and beyond to educate YT people on why y'all are illiterate and and are just so out of pocket, and trying to educate on critical race theory, and they expect them to do it for free. And so now it's black women in education are being extorted, but then it's like people are out here wanting to erase these women. And so that's really problematic. And it's like, we know a lot of our culture, like if you compare a biracial person who came from who has a black mother to a biracial person who has a white mother, you can see the differences. It's pretty, it's not 100%, because like,
No, I agree with you 100% on that. That is
yeah.
absolutely true.
Yeah, and I always say I'm blessed. I'm blessed that I have a melanated mother. I always say that cuz she taught me so much and I'm so thankful for her every day even though she had plenty of her shortcomings as a human being, but she still shared so much wisdom with me and so much culture with me, and that's period. And so when somebody asks me for my race, I always tell them, I'm black, but if you want to know but if you want to know more, it's like I'm mixed. But and it's different though, like what how we move in mixed company versus how we move in black spaces or white spaces. It's different and it's hard navigating that. So, I appreciate the struggle for why people don't, why people have a hard time honoring their blackness and thinking in a Pan-African way. But at the same time, we do need to be accountable. And I think that's what a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah, yeah, that's the hard part.
Taylor,
Appreciate you.
don't embarrass me like that.
Okay,
Hey
so hold
man,
on. What's
hold
interesting
on.
is Bradley
I got
says
you.
when he
I just
said
want to throw that
there's
in. Don't embarrass me like that. I
okay,
was
well
speaking on
stop
something
drinking.
and y'all just don't do that to me. God damn it.
Oh, sit
But I
back.
said I was listening. And I did ask him to
Only
expound on something and people did jump in.
All
God
right,
damn it. Don't
hold
do
on,
that to
hold
We
on,
me.
hold
still
on,
Y'all go
appreciate
ahead.
you, so
hold on,
no
hold on. We
worries.
ain't mad at you. Speak. Let me give my brother Omi some hand claps, man. That was well said.
that was yeah. I
Yeah,
learned a lot in that space.
yeah. Omi's taught me a few
You
things
know
as
what I
well, man.
learned?
Yeah.
I learned that it's good to be
Come
empathetic and
up.
that everyone's struggle is different. That's for sure. Yeah.
There's only a certain group of people, and I won't point out who, but they are a part of our community that go out of their way to say there's no such thing as race, although they're the main ones that are being made into strange fruit.
Who are you talking about?
Look in the chat.
Yeah, I know what you're
Bradley,
referencing.
I'm just trying to get my mic to work right. Can y'all hear me?
I can
Hello?
hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to get my mic to work right. All right, y'all. Appreciate you again, Omi. I'm gonna go to the next guest. We almost at 150K likes, y'all. Let's get up to 150. We got less than 2K likes left. Let's get it. This will probably be my last guest. I'm supposed to be sleeping right now. Kiasha, could you give us your age, race, and pronouns, please?
Hi. Hello, everyone. And it is actually Kaisha.
My apologies.
Oh, you're fine. My race is black, age is 22, and she, her.
All right. Thank you. And go
Yes,
ahead,
sir.
talk to us.
I really just came up here for advice. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. It kind of ties into the first point with being so my mother was actually great, right? And I don't know my father. So with wanting to dig into your ancestry, how would I go about finding out where I come from, who I come from, and all that without knowing a whole different side that I will never be able to know?
The other side is your white side.
She doesn't know.
Oh.
Okay.
Um. Yeah. Anybody want to take that?
Well, I'm in the same situation. My mother was essayed, or raped, and so I understand that. Unfortunately, I had the displeasure of having to deal with his abusive ass, for much of my childhood because how CPS disempowers black mothers. But thankfully, I got out of that situation via foster care and emancipation. But so I knew him, so that's a little different. But as far as getting to know that side of your family, because you weren't raised with them, like, you know it's one thing knowing your ancestors, where they come from, and it's another thing including the living descendants of the, like your biological father in your life. Like you're not obligated to do that. But I think it is important knowing who you are and honoring that, and holding all parts of that accountable, and like healing that for yourself, because a lot of our mental illness as a community comes from generational trauma. And if you don't address the trauma, your ancestors and the atrocities committed by other ancestors, you're never going to heal yourself as an individual, because we're here because of them, and we learn because of them, and they teach us so many things, what to do and what not to do sometimes. And so, DNA tests are wild. You really should research that before you just take a DNA test. Like 23andMe and Ancestry are not your friends. The G25 test is the best test. That's what we use in anthropology and genetics, and that tells you more. But you can also you could use GEDmatch, and there's another one that an anthropologist creator on here that I'm friends with reference. I would have to ask her for that, but if you message me, I can try to get that to you, and that'll give you a fair representation of your African genetics, because they have larger sample sizes than Ancestry and whatnot, and 23andMe. But then, like, as far as like, if you find out who your biological father is, you know, when you dive into that, like, that's your personal journey, and all of that is your choice. You're not obligated to go further into that. You learn when you're ready to learn, and what you're ready to process, and don't feel like you're obligated or owe anybody anything, because at the end of the day, you're your mother's child, and you were put through that situation unconsensually, and you had a lot of your agency taken away. And so a lot of your life will be about gaining that for yourself again. And so don't let people out here bully you into doing something that you're not ready to do for yourself, because you won't heal from that in that situation at all.
That was a much better answer than anything I could have said, to be honest. So,
Thank you. I
yeah.
appreciate it. I'm definitely ready to start, because I'm in a journey where I'm actually starting to be proud to be Black. But I wanted to know where I come from. Like, I know we come from Africa, but if there's a specific tribe, is there a specific nation, is there a specific area? Like, and without
Right.
knowing a whole incomplete side, will I ever be able to get down to that specific thing?
The whole continent belongs to you, sister.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? If you're African American, Kiasha, Kaisha,
Yes.
I forgot how you
Yes.
said your name, but yeah. So if you're African American, then the whole continent is yours, and there are Africans that will claim you. They will claim you.
Actually,
We are claimed by Africa, y'all. This just in, to all the African Americans, they claim us now. Shout out to the Africans. What's up? They might not all claim you, but they don't all claim themselves.
And Africans are human beings too, contrary to common belief. So, a lot of Africans, especially if you're not from West Africa, aren't familiar with the transatlantic slave trade and all the details about that. So they might say some out of pocket things, just like any other human being would say that's not educated. And so I would still say allow them grace, but again, the way Africans will approach these issues is different than how Europeans approach these issues. Because there's something that we have, and it's called humanity and empathy, and that's lacking outside of the continent. But so, like, I would just say, like, don't expect it to be all butterflies and rainbows just because
Yeah.
you're reconnecting to the continent. But also, like, you are going to have a deep experience that is, affirming that you don't get here in the USA. So,
Yeah, I know a few. Well, they're all sisters, but that I know, but they severely dislike African Americans, but and they're from the motherland. But
hmm
I know maybe 20 more that love us and see us as brothers and sisters. So, as African Americans, we're the first Africans in history to take on the entire continental identity of
hmm
Africans. Because before colonization, there was no unified name for
right.
Africa. They just saw each other as, different civilizations here, there. We were brought here to this land, and our parents, grandparents were forced to breed. If you want to use that word, that's the word they used. But they were forced to, have children, and they didn't care what tribe they were from. So they mixed us all up, all different tribes, all different civilizations, societies, whatever you want to call it. They mixed them all up, and that's why we take on the entire continental identity, because we from all that. You get your DNA back, probably say you from all over Africa. Watch. Mostly West Africa, though. I know a lot of us, mostly West Africa. Bantus and West Africans. I know Bantus aren't West African, the same thing, but we have both.
As far as like, if you want to know specifically what ethnic group you are from, like Brother Legend said, you're probably a mix of them, but not always. Like, I was surprised because on my mom's side, her dad is his dad's father's African American, but his mother came here in the 20s or 30s from Nigeria. But
Oh,
when I
okay.
got my
Yeah, that could
DNA,
happen too. Yeah.
yeah, but when I got my DNA done, like it just came back mostly Nigerian and like from Benin, because apparently on both sides they're Yoruba, even though like I have African American, ancestry here, post slave trade. So,
Yeah.
it depends. So like that test can be interesting. Yeah, ile
Yeah.
Yoruba, omi bisola. Um, but when you find out like your DNA matches, or you look up your family tree and you look at names, you can trace names, whether that's to a plantation and in a certain locality, and to
Yeah.
a different and then to a ship, and you can tell what routes different ships took, so you can trace lineage to different regions in Africa. And then
Obi,
if you connect to a certain region in Africa, you can do more deep diving from there. And even though we're mixed, most Africans can place what mix you are by your facial features. Like,
Yeah, I heard that.
even looking as whitey as I do, a lot of Yoruba people, like, especially with my with my gap and like with my just the shape of my face, they can tell I'm mixed
Damn.
Yoruba. And even though I look like a European because
Wow.
of certain features and whatnot. And so, you'll know. So like, maybe you locate it like, oh, I'm of like one or two of these countries. Like, maybe you're like of Mali, and like, or Sierra Leone, and you go there, or you talk to other people who are Bambara or Fula ethnicity. They'll be able to tell like, oh no, you're definitely not Fula, or you're definitely
That's
Bambara,
crazy.
etc. And same
Damn.
thing. So it's so lineage can take you so far, and then present day communities can help you the rest of the way if
Yeah.
you can't find it yourself.
what was
That's
that
crazy.
one? You said it was 25 something, 25?
G25?
G25. Okay, thanks.
G25.
25. Yeah, that one, it looks at your autosomal through your father, the Y chromosome. It looks at your mitochondrial. Bambara is also an ethnic group, Antigua. And then it looks at your mtDNA, your mitochondrial, DNA, but it also does a full genetic sequencing because your Y and X chromosomes are like only like 15 or 20% of the genetic info you can get from your DNA. So the G25 sequences everything else. So it can get you a lot more. Like when they show you percentages on Ancestry DNA or 23andMe, that's like horoscopes in astrology because there's no way they can tell you what percentage of anything you are based off of that info, the Y and the mtDNA. But when you do a full sequencing, they can tell you a lot more about locality and whatnot. So yeah, so it's
That's crazy.
so yeah, getting your G25 done is really good. And if you've already, for those of you who've already had a DNA test, you can upload your raw genetic information to the GEDmatch, and they'll sequence the rest and give you a more specific thing. But you know, there's this one test that's better to just do it through them, but they're really expensive. So you know, do what's accessible to you, but also just know what you're paying for. You know, that's all I got to say on that.
All right. That was quite informative. Did you have anything
Yeah,
else, sister?
thank you.
All right.
Well, as far as like tracing my lineage, my mom was actually in foster care when she was very young. So we don't have a lot of information about where she even comes from. So it's like I'm trying to pinpoint what I just want to pinpoint it, you know?
Yeah.
It's a feeling to want to know, like, am I West African, South African, and all that. So I was just wondering, like, how do I go about even trying to pinpoint this? So you're saying just start with the test, the DNA test.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I would say you African American, but I hear you. We
You have to kind of,
Africans of the American tribe.
and sometimes you just have to accept that you don't know all the time. And you know that's hard for a lot of us. But sometimes that's an important journey is just accepting the fact that because of because of I lost the word, but because of these circumstances, like we won't know all about who we are, but we can make decisions about being mindful of who we are moving forward and as a community and so on and so forth.
You're the ancestors.
Right, exactly.
You're the ancestor.
Exactly. Mojuba egunguni mio. And you know, and so so like sometimes you're not going to get all the answers you want, but you know, there's also more indigenous ways of knowing who your ancestors are, and you can find, you know, elders in whatever community you participate in that accepts you, and they'll help you in finding that out. So, you know, just look around and you'll find you'll find those who you'll find your people eventually, you know.
All right, y'all. I gotta go to bed.
Good night,
I
everyone.
got work
I
in the
gotta go to
morning.
bed.
Good night. Appreciate y'all.
I'll
Shout
go
out
to
to
routine. It's nighttime. Hop
I
in the
can't
yeah.
get
tub
no later
before
for
you hop
that.
in my business.
All right. Appreciate you, Omi
Jesus
D.
Christ.
Speak, Leisha, Molly, lovely Rose Petals. Appreciate y'all. All my mods.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
y'all always. Alafia.
Thanks for coming up, brother. And so, yeah, man, this was a fun live. We'll do it again tomorrow. I'll be back. I'm going to post the replay on my YouTube. In my bio, you'll see the YouTube button. Go ahead and subscribe. You can see all the replays. I'm posting every video on there. This is now turning into a podcast. You see my little mic? I'm getting there. All right. I'm working on it. Anyway. Yeah, we're going to make this a podcast eventually. And then, what else going on? Oh, yeah. B1initiative.org. If you want to learn some more about your culture, African roots, things of that things of that nature, feel free to join us. B1initiative.org. The link is in my bio. That's our Discord group. One love, peace, Christian. Thanks for joining. Talk to y'all later. Peace.